Edmonton Sports Talk. My God, I loved it.
My name's Jay Milne. #Blue.
Our sports update deliverer. The Coon.
I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up today.
You know what, Reid?
You might be honest.
All right, here's what's going on in the Nasty Show. Well, good afternoon, Nasties. Oilers back at it tonight against the Tentacles. Plenty to discuss about your beloved hockey team over the course of this afternoon. Opening day in Major League Baseball. That's the first day of the season, everybody. Blue Jays having a bit of a rough ride, trailing the Orioles 6-2 in the bottom of the fifth. We're trying to get the game on the ESTV. I liked it when you just had a remote and you typed in the channel number and it went to that channel. Now you got to find an app. You might have to have a subscription. That's going to be the off-topic today. Problems with watching things on these newfangled televisions with the different technology. But we'll get to that as we move along throughout the afternoon. Olivier Rodrigue has been called up on an emergency basis from the Oilers farm team. So we expect him to back up Calvin Pickard tonight, as Stuart Skinner did not travel to Seattle after leaving last night's game after taking the shot to the head from Mikko Rantanen. Derek Ryan assigned to the Condors, so the Oilers remain under the salary cap. Your headlines presented by Nate's Construction Leadership and Supervision Program, a perfect tool for professionals looking to advance their role or an organization needing to develop leaders. For more information and to register, visit nate.ca/CLSP to take your career to another level. I am Reid Wilkins. He is Jason Milne, back from holidays. How are you doing, buddy?
Reid, I am happy to be back.
I guess you're back from days off. I don't know if 3 days would be holidays, but you also have... Is this how you're going to do your vacation time? You will just take three at a time for a few weeks?
Yeah. We honestly, we cannot leave for extended periods of time. We have animals, we have horses, ducks, goats.
Yeah.
So it's hard to be gone for a long time. You can only
your government-imposed travel restrictions.
Of course, yeah. The blacklist.
he's blacklisted.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be a good show, by the way, wasn't it?
I didn't even know it was a show.
Wasn't that the one with Michael Emerson and James Spader? Was that the blacklist? Somebody will tell us.
It could be, Reid. It could be.
All right, so Jay is back.
My trip was great, by the way.
We're going to get to it. We got a mystery athlete coming up today for Hudson's Canada's Pub. It was Mike Palmatier yesterday. We have a bit of a new rule with the Hudson's Canada's Pub mystery athlete today. You have to go. What did we say? 2 weeks between wins.
2 weeks.
2 weeks between wins. We appreciate everybody. We love everybody, but we've had some multiple winners or people who have won multiple times with Hudson's Canada's Pub. And so kind of the honor system, and we'll sort of remember, but we'll say, or 4 or 5 games between wins, minimum. We'll do something like that today. We'll play it by ear, but, Do
we call it what it is?
It's the Mex Bezozu rule.
It's the Mex Bezozu rule.
Yeah.
He said in the chat, sorry, guy.
He's already apologizing. Yeah. That's okay.
Quaddy says, Jay's unwatchable already. And I thought to myself, well,
you're not
good
that.
Afternoon to you too.
I mean,
Quaddy.
you're not handsome, but you're not unwatchable.
I believe he meant the Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays. Weren't they expected to be bad? I didn't follow it that closely, but I just feel like everybody's mad at their management. You know who's pitching now for the Blue Jays? Richard Lovelady. I did not know that there was a
old Dick Lovelady.
That sounds like It sounds like a Harlequin romance novel. Dick Lovelady.
That's a good one. That's an opening day name
it's
if
like,
I ever saw
those pictures. Like we always would have those in the library at Grand Trunk, that one rack of books. It's the title of the book is always in that very fancy script. And it's always like on a pirate ship or something like that. And there's a damsel in distress and the guy Like they all look like Fabio. Remember, I think he was a model on some of those books.
The book model.
Like he has a shirt on. Oh, but it's not done up properly. It's like that thing's barely hanging on.
It's like he missed 3 buttons.
Yeah. It's like
and the top buttons.
Yeah. Well, let me just do it. Let me just do up my shirt, and he does up one button, and then he goes out in public. Yeah. Are you going to do up the rest of your? No, I'm not actually.
It's always the perfect amount of wind, just enough.
That's true. Yeah.
And the writing on the books on the spine of the book was in that silvery color, so it glimmered.
That's a good point. Yeah. You'd look at it from different angles.
Yeah.
So you
had a sheen.
Shimmer. Yeah.
God bless it. And they were up higher. So the younger kids.
Oh no, eye level Grand Trunk over there.
Well, that says a lot.
That says a lot. We're pretty open in Evansburg. All right. You can get in touch with us, by the way. You can email Reid at edmontonsportstalk.com. You can email Jay at edmontonsportstalk.com. We already have a limerick coming in. We'll get to that a little bit later on. What do they email? What would a person or a business email? What address would they use if they thought, I would like to advertise with Edmonton Sports Talk, or just even talk to Jay about possible opportunities to partner with the station?
It's the easiest email address, I believe, in existence. It's Jay at edmontonsportstalk.com.
Oh, just use yours. We don't have to use the business one or whatever?
Or accounts.
Okay.
You know, if you want to sneakily say hi to Maddie, you send it to accounts. Or Matt at, what? You have access to accounts.
That's also
only HR Daddy. HR Daddy? I do. No. Yes. No, business. I've screwed up.
Another headline today, by the way, for Nate's Construction Leadership and Supervision Program. John Tortorella fired as head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers. Quite frankly, I'm surprised he lasted there as long as he did. Matthew Iwanyk will join us in about 20 minutes, probably less than 20 minutes, to describe and go over his brush with torts. And we have audio and video of this.
We do.
So if you're if you're on the audio stream, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio app, we appreciate you. And if you're on YouTube, you'll get the video element as well. We need some subscriptions, on YouTube. Like keep clicking away at the subscriptions.
We're 17 subscriptions away to getting to 11.5. So nasties, let's work on it. As a team, we can do this. If you haven't subscribed, you're watching, and you haven't subscribed, it's right there, right beneath the word goalie ? Click that button. Subscribe. Let's see if we can make a little noise today.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
All right. And give us the thumbs up as well. You want to get to 100 in the first hour?
Yeah, let's
do it. I mean, we're doing really well yesterday with the thumbs without you here. So with you back, there should be even more people willing to give thumbs up.
The words of the day today are maybe not as good as yesterday's. Yesterday was a brilliant performance, by the way. Coob, great words. Reid, great job.
I finally accomplished something.
Were you 3.5 out of 4?
Yes.
That's amazing. Good job. The words today are exceptional. And I could see a repeat performance.
Oh, I hope so.
So let's
actually really like doing that, even though I get despondent when I do poorly. So maybe I don't love doing it. I guess I love succeeding at it. And the Orioles have a player named Jackson Holliday. Holliday.
He looks like he's 10.
Yeah, and he has one of those big jaw protectors on his batting helmet too. Like it's Vader-esque.
I like those.
Yeah. How does he breathe? Like, I see you have put on the hit and
Look
run.
at him. He looks like he's 10.
It's too early in the game. That's a bad Vader. That's a horrible Vader impression. I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
I apologize. All right. So first, you went to, where'd you go this time? Jasper?
Jasper. We went skiing. We were at Marmot. Beautiful conditions. Brian Road from Marmot hooked us up. It was great. He's a fantastic man. I really appreciate it. But I got to be honest, as great as Jasper was, and when you're in the mountains, it's just so easy, right? And I mean, we have some of the best destinations 3 to 4 hours away from us being in Edmonton. We're very lucky. But driving up to Marmot, you saw the effects of the wildfire as you're coming into Jasper and you're going through the park. But when you head out of Jasper and you head up that mountain to go to the actual hill, it is jaw-dropping how much destruction there was. It was like I said this before in the bullpen and talking to Dusty, it was like apocalyptic. Trees were uprooted. You know, you see a forest fire and trees are still standing, they're just burnt. Mm-hmm. This was so hot, it uprooted tree. Like it just looked eerie. It was very sad. It really was. And you know, in perspective, my wife said something to my girls, and she said, you know, when you're our age, you guys might drive back and come up here with your kids, and it may not even be grown back.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's just, it was terrible. I don't mean to, you know, bring things down, but I know the town of Jasper, everywhere we went, we asked, how is it going? How's it been? And it's slow. It's slow. They really would like people to get out there. It was fantastic conditions though. Marmot, man, I love that hill. Girls had a blast. We were cruising there. Brian, I think he might be on tomorrow. He's actually sick right now, so he may not. But
okay,
there's a lift that takes you up. I forget the name of the lift, but one of the trees, because you often are as high as the trees on the chairlift. One of them had bras hanging all over it.
All over it?
Yeah, and my wife had already gone back to the truck. And me and the girls did one more run, and of course, this is the run we're on. We're on this lift, and my daughters are looking at this saying, "What's with all the bras, Dad?" And I have no idea what it is. Like,
did you find out?
I didn't know who to ask.
Why do people put bras on a chairlift? Is one of our questions.
It's a tree that's beside.
Oh, it's a tree. Sorry.
So it's like they fling them while they're on the chairlift, and they get caught on this.
So
tree.
I wonder if this is a tradition around, because I don't ski. Is this a tradition around the skiing world, or perhaps just at Marmot? Is it related to maybe a stagette or something that was there, or what are they called?
It could be.
Are they called stagettes? Bachelorette parties.
Bachelorette parties.
Sorry.
I don't know.
Yeah, let's find out.
There's probably 100 bras on this tree.
Oh, really?
Yes. It would. You could not see it.
Did you ask anybody about it?
No.
We're gonna have to ask Brian.
I was too busy shredding, man.
Just shredding, dude.
It was great though. So yeah, trip was awesome. Get out to Jasper. Loved it. It was very, very good and nice. You know, the kids, there was a pool there, and the kids, we were in that pool so much.
Oh, that's awesome.
Kids on a holiday with the pool, right?
Is this spring break for children?
It is. So they're currently at home. Probably driving my wife wild, or my mother-in-law is moving in this weekend to her house she built on our
right.
on our yard.
So she's moving out of your house.
Yeah. So the girls they've been spending a lot of time over there helping her unpackage boxes
because it's a brand new house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
RV says in the nasty chat, why would you wear a bra on a chairlift? Well, I wouldn't. Well, I guess he meant the royal you. Well, we don't know. We're trying to find out the story. Well, women would wear bras skiing, wouldn't they?
I would imagine so.
Something.
Yep.
All right. I did not think we'd be going down this path.
Meandering already, Reid.
That's okay. Jasmine in the nasty chat says, excited for NCAA to continue today. Okay. Jasmine, have you noticed that she likes to do that?
What?
That we're talking about something, and she is like, oh, this. Yeah, okay. Yes, we know, Jasmine. We're going to have the game on at 5 o'clock on the ESTV. Our brackets are stellar.
Yeah.
Okay? We'll get there. Don't worry about it.
BYU, Alabama to kick things off.
I don't think I have either of those teams.
Alabama, I think Brendan took them all the way to win because I said they're a team to watch. And that was about as much as he needed to know.
So he just went by G's like, oh, Jay must know.
Yeah, Brendan.
It's like,
he reminds me.
He'll be like, why didn't you take them, Jay?
Yeah. I took Duke.
I wanted to tell you, Brendan. That's all right. Okay, let's do the Hudson's Canada's Pub mystery athlete of the game, because we do have the Oilers in Seattle tonight. Of course, we'll have coverage at 7 o'clock. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas will take over the stream with the GCL Diesel pregame show. The mystery athlete of the game presented by Hudson's Canada's Pub. You're invited down tonight for the Oilers game. You can join them Fridays and Saturdays after 9 p.m. for the late night happy hour specials. Food starting at $4, drinks from $3.75. Book your reservation now at hudsonscanadaspub.com. By the way, as we move along, we are going to dive into the Oilers storyline. A lot of talk about Oilers goaltenders being bumped, protected, defended, all that kind of stuff. And we are going to get into that, some of the fallout and ongoing discussion from last night's game and from other points in the season. We will get to that. Sorry, were you giving me something?
Yeah, just for context here, Jackson Holiday, this comes in from Chris Purper.
Yeah.
Jackson Holiday, the young fellow we just saw on the screen here that plays for the Orioles, is son of Cardinal great Matt Holiday.
Yeah, and he was drafted first overall. Somebody put that in the Nest chat.
Very highly
good.
coveted.
We should have known more about him.
We should have, but now we do. Alicia Hemming says that's a thing. They have a tree like that at Sunshine too. The
Just
bra
a
tree.
bra throwing tree.
Yeah,
I did not know. So it's a skiing thing.
Like a chia pet, but it just grows bras.
That's quite interesting. The first clue in the Hudson's Canada's Pub mystery athlete of the game is California. Okay? The first clue is California with a C. This is not the movie from the 90s with Brad Pitt and Juliette Lewis. It's spelled with a K. It's Who else was in that? I think Jason Patrick was in that. I think, and somebody else. I'm pretty sure it was Juliette Lewis and Brad Pitt and Jason Patrick. Somebody will know. Now, to participate and to try to win the prize of a $25 gift card to Hudson's Canada's Pub, you must text your guesses to 780-218-9999. That is the afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the Kitchen Restaurant, all-you-can-eat prime rib buffet, or as we said back in Evansburg, buffet, for just $49.99 every Sunday from 4 to 10 p.m. We'll keep going throughout the clues. The first clue is California. We have had people... Oh, Duke Coveney. Duke Coveney wasn't in California, was he?
He's thinking Californication.
No, he might have been.
Are you talking about Californication?
No, there was a movie in 1993, California with a K. It was Duke Coveney.
And was he not in Californication too?
The show, yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Brad Pitt, Juliette Lewis, David Duchovny, and Michelle Forbes, who, of course, played Ensign Ro on Star Trek The Next Generation and was also in the very dark early to mid-90s comedy with Kevin Spacey and the other guy, I can't remember his name, Swimming with Sharks. Have you ever seen Swimming with Sharks?
No.
You should watch Swimming with Sharks.
Should I really?
Yes, absolutely.
Really, I should?
Yes!
Is it funny?
It's darkly funny. I think you would like it.
Swimming with Sharks.
What was it? Was it not Noah Wiley? I can see the guy. Kevin Spacey, Michelle Forbes, and I can see him.
It's a TV series?
No, it was a movie, probably 93 or 94, around the time 7 Unusual Suspects came out, because Spacey was in all those, but I think it was before them.
Benicio del Toro?
That's The Usual Suspects.
It says he was in Swimming with Sharks.
Okay, who else was in it?
Frank Whaley?
Yes, Frank Whaley. That's who I was thinking of. I forgot Del Toro was in it.
Frank Whaley is the guy that you see in a lot of movies, and you're like, yeah, that guy.
That's I couldn't quite remember him. Anyway, the first clue is California with a C. We'll leave it at that. Okay? Hudson's Canada's Pub mystery athlete of the game.
This comes in from Seal. Good listener to the show, Seal. Kissed from a rose.
Yeah, I know him.
Fellas, on their own, spiced rum is good, and ginger ale is too. But together, chef's kiss. Welcome back, Jay Milne. He says we're spiced rum and ginger.
Is that that's not a limerick.
No.
Oh, okay.
Just an eloquent text.
Got a text here from a limerick from Tube Socks. There was once a man, Reid Wilkins by name, who once loved baseball, the thrill of the game. But one day he swore, it's a drag, it's a bore, and walked off declaring it lame. Somewhat accurate. It did reach a point where it was just too draggy to watch an entire game. They have sped up the games. Blue Jays losing 6-2 in the bottom of the 6th. All right, we have our afternoon debate coming up. We want you to participate in it because it's going to be about the Oilers and their reaction, or what some would say non-reaction to their goaltenders being pushed around. We will have the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel, and we have our off-topic topic coming up, and we have Matthew Iwanyk jumping in studio for his brief yet awkward, I think it was somewhat awkward, his brief yet and awkward encounter.
A young Matthew Iwanyk.
Very young Matthew Iwanyk.
Almost unrecognizable.
With John Tortorella. But first, Zachary Kubish updating the sports.
Olivier Rodrigue has been called up from the AHL by the Oilers. Stuart Skinner did not travel with the team to Seattle after he exited yesterday's game with a head injury. Calvin Pickard takes the crease tonight. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas go live from Boston Pizza Westgate as they preview the action during the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 7 right here on EST. 10 total games around the league. Interim head coach Brad Shaw takes over for the Flyers as they battle the Canadiens. Calgary hosts Dallas, while the Lightning and Hockey Club go head-to-head. And MLB opening day has 10 games live. The Jays trail 6-2 to the Orioles at the bottom of the sixth, with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. recording a run for the Jays. Elsewhere, the Royals are up 3-1 on the Guardians at the top of the fifth, while the Giants are down 3-2 to the Reds at the top of the fifth inning. For basketball, the NBA sees the Mavs and Mavericks throw down. Portland going at it with Sacramento, while the Grizzlies tip off against the Thunder, having 8 games around the association. 4 games on tap in March Madness. Florida and Maryland have a date, while BYU challenges Alabama. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring. Join them at the Home and Garden Show at the Expo Center this weekend to see their exciting new products and for a chance to win a free floor. Or visit their showroom that's open 7 days a week. You can also buy online at ParamountFlooring.ca. Matthew Iwanyk joins Reid Wilkins and Jay Milne in studio to talk about his time running into John Tortorella. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
2 guys and a goalie.
www.hot-dog.org. Do's and don'ts. Don't send a thank you note following a hot dog barbecue. It will not be keeping with the unpretentious nature of hot dogs. Don't bring wine to a hot dog barbecue. It's beer, soda, lemonade, and iced tea being preferable. And don't ever think there's a wrong time to serve hot dogs.
2 guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
UFC 314 goes down at the Canadian Brewhouse on April 12th. Watch every knockout on the most TVs with epic food and drinks in the best atmosphere. Don't miss the action. The Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Oilers visiting the Seattle Kraken tonight, 8 o'clock game. We have the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 7, and then Hernan and Tom will be on after the game as well to break it down. Olivier Rodrigue called up from Bakersfield. Derek Ryan assigned to the Condors. I would expect the Oilers to go with 11 forwards and 7D tonight. Unless Draisaitl's on the trip and is going to play, but probably more likely they go with 11 forwards and Emerson slides in on the back end. So Calvin Pickard, your expected starter in goal. Matthew Iwanyk has joined us for this segment, our chief operating officer here at Edmonton Sports Talk. Hey, Matthew, how's it going?
I am good, Reid. Thanks for having me.
I couldn't help.
Can we just talk about what just happened here?
What? Well,
I played a prank on
so
you guys.
we go to the break.
Like,
we had set this up with Maddie that, hey, we want you to come on and talk about your brush with torts.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go out. The break happens. So Reid, as normally, would go out and get the third chair.
Yep.
I go in and set up the mic, and Hernan's standing right there, and he says, Matty just said he had to go. And Reid's like, yeah, sure. So we go to the office. Matty's not in his office. I call down the hallway. Matty's nowhere to be found. Hernan says no, like he just said he had to leave. And we had just talked about this like 15 minutes prior to our show. I text Matt, are you coming on the show? And they all sold it. And here, Matthew was bunkered up.
I was hiding underneath a table.
Under the desk, pranking us.
Like we're in kindergarten or something. Like he's hiding from his kindergarten teacher.
It was a fun prank. It was a victimless prank. Although you two were kind of victims in it, but it was great. It was wonderful. Hernan did a great job of selling it, and it's fun. I made you guys think for a second. Matt laughed. That was wonderful, and you were mad at me for that brief second.
Well, I'm mad at you most of the time. Well, irritated, I guess, is more the right word.
That's not unusual.
Yeah. So first of all, as I was starting to say, so last night I get home from the game. I do a hit with Hernan and Tom and Belzy. And then, I change out of my suit and it's like, I don't know, 12:15. And I turn on my TV and the time on the TV says it's 12:05 and I can't get any channels. I can't go on any apps and my Wi-Fi is out. And now like cable no longer comes through a cable. I mean, it does, I guess, to get into the house.
You're not the coax.
At least, right. So now you don't have to place your TV. Oh, there's an outlet there. I got to have it there. Like you can just put a TV anywhere because it's all coming through Wi-Fi. So this led me to think, what if I couldn't watch television when there was something on I really wanted to watch? And our off-topic topic for William Huff, since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com. Give them a shout, 780-454-4536. What would you do if the internet and or your power went out during an Oilers playoff game?
Okay, if you're adding the power in this too, it changes a little bit, but it goes on my phone. Just put it on your phone. I don't need the internet for that. I got data. I got 200 gigs, baby.
Okay. What would you do if the internet and power went off during an Oilers playoff game and your phone was flushed down the toilet? Accidentally.
Well, it's a little big to go down the toilet. Well, there's only one thing. Throw up a good old radio.
Is that it? Is that the radio?
You'd have to listen on the radio. You'd have to go old school, baby.
So this is what we're asking, how they would react initially. It's games. It's 5 minutes left.
How
it's
people
5
would
minutes
react
left in Game 6. Oilers Dallas last.
People lose their minds.
Yeah, like what do you do? Do you now? You don't just type in on your phone. And let's face it, Matthew, you're very tech savvy.
Yes.
Jay and I are probably mid range.
You're not.
So well, I do know how to watch TV on my phone.
Okay.
But some people might not think, I can still do it even if I don't have Wi-Fi. Like this would be a distressing moment even for people who I think know how their phones work and how they're getting their cable.
I think
you have to have an app.
There'd be anger right off the bat.
Yes.
There would be immediately like, what's going on here?
Frustration.
Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Some people would go right to their wireless router to try to restart it. You know, the good old fashioned unplug, replug back in.
30 seconds.
But then I think anyone that's under the age of 40 especially will be like, hey, I'm going to my phone.
Is that a shot?
No, it's just that's what we grew up in. That's what we know.
Right.
Like for you to say that, to think of that, like I think Zach would know, like, well, my phone. There's a lot of people that just watch their TV on their phone, straight up. That I don't think anyone that's, again, I'm going to go under 40. I'd say millennials.
Oh, wait, you said radio.
Yeah.
Power's out, bruh.
I have a portable one that has batteries.
You have a portable radio?
I bet you very few people have.
I know they very do, but
I bet
I was
few
answering
people
for
have
me.
a traditional radio anymore.
Well, the other thing is you could go into your car and turn on your car and listen to in your car.
In the garage.
Just make sure you open up the door.
Kill yourself with carbon monoxide.
But there's that option for the car. Like you could go and listen to it in your car radio. But I do think that millennials or younger wouldn't. After everything I said there, they would know, okay, I'm going on my phone. I got to do it on my phone. The app would already be there and they know exactly how to do it. But anyone older, now you're into there's the tech savvy people that would know it. There's the people like you that would maybe think of doing it and know how to put it on. There'd be people that'd be like, I'm just lost. I don't get to watch this game.
Right.
How dare Rogers, how dare Telus, they owe me money. I want reparations.
But this is fresh. Now, I think, because I went on the website, and I think this was like a scheduled, or maybe not scheduled, but it's something they wanted to fix
Like
overnight.
type thing?
Yeah, some sort of maintenance thing. But I mean, that would be, I just thought about the widespread panic if, Oilers playoffs is the biggest thing I could think of, but Elks driving to win the Grey Cup, even end of a Super Bowl, and all of a sudden, a widespread internet outage, because now the internet is also your cable. It's not separate.
Well, this isn't new to this day and age, though, because anyone that lived out in the farms or something, and you had satellite could go down, no problem.
And what
do
you
do?
Just had an antenna, actually.
But that's for the but like those that maybe had satellite dishes, that could go down with just rain. And
Close
like
hangers.
a good storm.
I think this lightning storm has knocked out the cable. Don't worry. I got it.
Send Reid out there with the bunny ears.
I'll go outside and hold these hangers in the air.
So I don't think it's fully new to now. I think the things now maybe more for the city as opposed to the rural. But that would have been something that I remember, because we used to have a satellite dish back at 1260. And there'd be times it's storming outside and be like, oh, satellite's down. I can't watch this game that I'm supposed to be watching right now.
So maybe the question is, if the power or the internet went out, you lost your TV during an Oilers playoff game, how long until you gained your composure to find another way to consume the game? Maybe that's the question.
I think that might be more of the.
Maybe that's more of the.
It's just
the
a sheer panic,
right?
I mean, the phone thing is great, but
it'd be within 5 minutes I'd have it up and running.
You might have missed the game-winning goal.
There you go.
Well, I'm just trying to think of how I would fully do it. Like I think the first thing I'd do if it's down is go look at my internet, unplug it, plug it back in. But if it's that late, I probably would first turn it on my phone, so I have it running.
Right.
And then if I was with people, like, hey, watch this. I'm going to go try to fix this.
Oh, okay.
See, let me ask
I'm
you
not worried about that.
So
personally.
you guys live downtown or near downtown or in the
downtown.
core. You're downtown.
He's downtown too.
You guys watch. You don't have, like, I get my cable through a satellite on the side of my house.
Yeah, you've got a satellite dish.
Okay.
I have cable.
But my internet comes from a tower that we get internet like rurally. It's not high speed. It's awful, to be honest. So if I'm dedicated to watching something or streaming something online, I will likely have interruptions, quite often, enough to really annoy you and frustrate you. Do you guys, as you're watching and viewing downtown, do you get disruptions in your internet?
Hardly ever.
Hardly ever.
No, my parents have been getting lately, and they got a new TV. Well, I told the story of the new TV a few months ago now, I guess. Sometimes it just goes like old school reception. It's not streaming clearly.
It's buffering almost.
Yeah, and we had that Amazon hockey game on the other night, and it kept like pausing.
I don't have issues. So I have TELUS. It's fiber TV. So I still have the cable box. It's not fully internet, but it comes through the internet box.
Right.
So that, and it comes through the Ethernet port. So if my internet goes down, it would take my TV down. But I don't see any delays on my cable, and my internet's really good. My parents have Rogers, which is all internet based. And there'll be times when you change the channel, you can see that little buffering till you get the proper quality. That's about it.
All right, so the off-topic topic for William Huff, you can text 780-218-9999. That's the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. You can post in the Nasty Chat. If you lost your internet and or power during an Oilers playoff game, how long until you found another way to consume the game other than taking it on your TV, and how much panic would this cause you? That'll be fun. By the way, keep giving us the thumbs up if you're taking in the show on YouTube. First of all, subscribe to the station. Let's see where we can get to today. But give us that thumbs up. With where we're at right now, we think if the viewership is accurate we should be able to get to double word of the day.
We came out at a pace.
Really, I don't want to sound rude, but I don't know what you're waiting for if you're not thumbing the show immediately when you go into YouTube. Maybe there's some new audience members who are like, do I want to thumb up these guys? They might suck. Fair enough. I get that, but give us a chance. But everybody who's a regular nasty,
if you think the Oilers are going to win tonight, give a thumbs up.
Ooh.
Well, don't make it conditional on something that's not going to happen.
I wonder.
Oh, you don't think the Oilers are going to win tonight?
No, I don't.
Wow.
I wonder what Hart would think.
What a guy over here.
Of people. Hart, we just asked you for thumbs up. I don't really understand what this has to do with asking you for thumbs up.
Well, that's fine. All right, so let's actually get to why we have Iwanyk here. Besides for being our what did I call you in the Instagram video today? Guide and inspirational leader, something like that. John Tortorella was fired today. So let's do the video first with sound. This was after a game in October of 2011 that the Oilers won 2-0 in October, late October, when they missed the playoffs, but they started really well. This is when Habby Boulin had something like a .960 save percentage the first 15 games of the season. Oilers beat the Rangers 2-0. Here's Torts doing post at Rexall Place.
This is going to be really quick. I'm not taking any questions. We sucked from head to toe, and we need to move by it. So I'm not going to dissect it with you guys. I know you have to do your job, but I'm not answering any questions. Okay, so that should finish.
Oh, who's that on the left of the screen?
Look at that.
That's Matty.
There's Matty Iwanyk. How old are you there?
The mic's going right now. I didn't know that.
Yeah, now we got the sound down.
So 2011, I was 20.
And you're there with
I was
Torts.
20. So I was there for 1260. I just knew we didn't have pre or post game at the time, I don't think. So no one needed the audio. So I was like, you want to know something? The Rangers lost this game 2-0. They're going to be mad. And it's John Tortorella. I'm like, this is going to be some sort of, he's going to be a little fired up. I didn't see that coming. But there is one video, I can't find it anymore. There's a better shot of this entire thing where this has got the shot of me there. So Torts has to come with the PR guy. They have to leave the room and come past me to stand in the scrum spot. So as you could see, I back up, they get in. And then it went really quick. It was quicker than I expected, than anyone expected, with the suck from head to toe, all that. And then the video that I can't find anymore, he turns and it's over. There's supposed to be questions asked,
right.
But he's walking away. And he has to walk, and all he does is when he turns to walk, it's me standing there. And I don't know what, I'm like, this is John Tortorella. He's mad. And I'm trying to get out of the way because I don't need John then all of a sudden to be yelling at me or something like that.
You're way bigger than him, though. You could have bodied him.
He's not a tall guy.
Yeah,
he's a little man.
But he's angry.
He's an angry little man.
He's an angry little man. Did you ever see Elf?
Angry little leprechaun.
Yeah, did you ever that witer was an angry little man.
That's right.
You don't mess with those type of people.
No.
So I'm 2011, I would have been 2 years into my career. Very young. And that would have been that was the start of the second NHL season I was covering. So I was still very green to all of this. And yeah, the other part to this that's not shown on that video is just Tortorella turning and staring at me basically, but walking to the room. And
Did he say anything to you?
No, because I moved pretty quick in the end, and he was able to get that locker room without me getting in his way or delaying him in any way, because then he was going to bite my head off.
It can be. I do think you have to get used to being around athletes and coaches who are it's. As much as I say sometimes fans take losses harder than the players and the coaches, but in the initial moments, it's a morgue. I've talked about going to the dressing room, and the day after, the players have moved on. And we do shows like this, and fans still want to talk about it. The Oilers, for the most part, have moved on from last night. They're ready for tonight's game. But it is there are awkward moments. When
you go in, all you hear is the tape being pulled off of this.
Yeah, and it's quiet, and really, you're going in there to ask people about why they failed, right?
For that game,
and in pro sports, it's not hey, honey, how was work today? Oh, well, my meeting was good, and then but then it was kind of awkward with Dave at lunch. But then it's black or white. We won or we lost, right? I remember. There was a game little bit after that because Dubnyk would have been the starting goaltender, and the Oilers, got beat bad, and it was one of those nights. Was he bad, or is the team just that bad? And he was sitting in his stall, and we did a scrum, right? And and he was head down, hat on, just kind of mumbling answers. Didn't want to be there, but did whatever, gave the cliches and got over with it. And then I go to step away, and my foot's kind of not coming off the ground. And I look down, and in the process of, I guess, positioning myself in the scrum without knowing, I had stepped perfectly inside the buckle of his pads at the bottom. Oh, no. And then my foot obviously moved forward. So then when I lifted up my foot, but my foot's now connected to the pad. And I kind of I'm like, oh my God, I hope it's not so I kind of had to extricate my foot. It took a couple of seconds, and he's just glaring at my foot. What is this guy doing? So that was kind of an awkward moment.
It's tough.
That I had. But you get used to it after a while. Just that they're going to be miserable and
bonus
whatever.
Points for using the word extricate.
Thank you.
That was good.
Won't be the word of the day today.
Barry the Cheater says, I'm waiting for the Paul Stanley scream, and then I will click, 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 click.
Caster 1990's not happy with me.
He's not.
It's not much of an off-topic topic. A lot of nasties know how to listen to Stauffer. Well, why would you, though? I also have a boombox with I'm joking, okay? I also have a boombox with AM, FM cassette player, so not an issue. Again,
but
it might be an issue for some people.
The under 40-year-old generally will not have that radio ready
And
to
also,
go.
Caster 1990, we do the show every day. Not every topic's going to be gold. I think we have worse ones than this one, though.
This is fine.
I could do an off-topic topic on the worst topics I've ever come up with.
Well, for the record, a lot of people were saying they just slide out to the garage and listen in their car.
That's fair, yeah.
You can't just make sure the garage door opens.
Yeah, you have to.
Actually, you don't have to. You can just turn on the power part of it. But
Phyllis says, I live in the boonies and always have to think of how to access the game. LOL, I have data plan. Go into my phone and watch it from there. She does this every night. And she says, in her own words, and I'm old.
It would just be, okay, how quickly does somebody move on from, because my struggle would be, how quickly do I move on from problem solving what's the issue to just enjoying the game until it's over, then problem solving the issue.
Right.
Because right away it's, okay, what went wrong? Do I need to just quickly unplug,
restart,
plug it back in?
all that kind of stuff.
But it's going to be when's the moment I have to be like, I don't know what's going on with this right now. I don't have time. I need to finish this game. If we're talking about 5 minutes left. I would like to think like within 30 seconds, I'll just throw it on and then go troubleshoot while it's on. Because I don't like when things aren't working.
So did Tort say excuse me, or
no?
Were you like, oh sorry? Like
I would have said sorry 100%. And
you read the room,
but it was like, but also like, okay, angry coming out. I was able to step away. I knew that he was going to walk by me, and I knew when it was done, he was going to have to walk by me. I didn't think it was going to be done in 10 seconds.
What if he stepped to you?
Like, what if he just elbowed you?
What if he
shouldered you in the chest?
I would have done nothing.
You wouldn't have whipped some Tort's ass?
No, I was 20. And actually, right now at 34, I still probably wouldn't have done nothing.
Done anything.
I don't tell me what to say or how to speak. I'll speak in English however I want.
Reid, how many Uncle Jesse's wondering how many likes would it take for you to have a sleepover at my place?
800.
Why would you have a sleepover at his house?
Yeah, he's really against
Why would
it.
I? Why would I have a sleepover at Jay's house?
I don't know.
Because
I don't understand
Jay's
why
house.
that would be even on the agenda.
Well, I'm going to explain it to you.
Yeah.
Because you go to Jay's house to watch a wonderful day of sports and you want to have some beverages and then you don't want to drive home and you want to know something. Jay lives a little too far and Uber is a little too expensive. And Jay's going to be very kind and be like, hey, just spend the night.
But that's
And he spends the night.
impromptu. That's not a planned sleepover.
No, you've never planned sleepover that you're going to drink at someone's place? Because I've done that.
Yeah, it's called responsibility.
Yeah. I'm not going to, Jay, I'll come to your place. I'll drive, but I need to sleep over because I want to enjoy myself, have some drinks. And
I'd love to have you.
Perfect. Of course you have a sleepover.
So there it
then
is,
at that
folks.
point.
800 likes. That's our show goal today.
Like, it's different inside the city.
Much larger number.
Inside the city,
Yeah, you may have had to.
I can Uber. That's fine. It's a lot closer. But I think Jay's place to my place is just going to be too expensive. So if Jay's going to allow me to sleep, well, more if April's okay with it,
I would Uber.
then
He's got a family of 5. Well, he's one of a family of 5.
Yeah, so?
It wouldn't be appropriate for you to sleep there. They need their space.
No.
in their
We
privacy.
got a whole basement.
would be in the basement.
Unoccupied.
Yeah, I
I've
can't
been
sleep
to his
in
house.
basements.
There's 3 bedrooms
Do
down
you want to
there.
know something?
There's a nice sectional.
If it's nice enough, I'll go sleep outside.
Yeah,
I'm okay
it
with
says
that.
Sleep
you
under
can-
the stars.
Yeah.
Jasmine, I could sleep
Have a
with
lovely
Cooper the
time in the
Corgi.
stars.
I'd be more comfortable in
Late
Cooper
night
the
swim.
Corgi's doghouse than in your house.
Cooper the Corgi sleeps on a nice little dog bed, so
Oh,
you
he
can share it
sleeps
with
inside?
him. Yes. He's a little thing.
Jasmine says you can do face masks and drink champagne and watch a scary movie. I understand 2/3 of that.
Face masks.
Yeah.
Like we walk around like Jason
It's
Voorhees.
for the.
No, it's like for
That would really
exfoliation.
scare everybody. Eh? If I stayed in your house, I was like, hey, guys, I do a face mask, and I just put on the hockey
Yeah, I brought
mask.
my own face
Yeah.
mask.
Then your kids would get up and like,
Reid,
I think that would just be lovely team, show bonding.
we could do a stream from my house. We could take it on the road to the Milne residence.
I don't even think you do. I think just as like the team goes on the road and at the start of every year, like it's good for team bonding.
Yeah,
I think show bonding for you guys having a sleepover at Jay's house, or Jay can come have a sleepover at your house. if
Yeah,
you want to
we
be
could
at
go
home
home
base.
and away.
Yeah, if you want home base.
No
Jake can
room,
sleep
there's
over
no
at
room
your
in my
house.
place. I could put you in a comic box. Hey, Matthew, thanks for stopping by. You really are an incredible leader and inspiration, and you have enriched my life greatly.
Can't even take that seriously. Reid, Jay, Zach, thank you for allowing me to take some time on the wonderful Reid Wilkins Show.
Thanks
with
for
Jay
showing
Milne.
up.
And thank you to the listeners for allowing me to spend part of my afternoon with you.
Bumping goalies after the coop.
In response to Stuart Skinner's injury last night against the Stars, Derek Ryan has been sent down to the AHL with Olivier Rodrigue being called up to serve as Calvin Pickard's backup tonight for the Oilers against the Kraken. Join Tom Gazzola live at Boston Pizza Westgate as him and Hernan Salas tee up the game during the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 7 right here on EST. Out east, the Flyers have fired head coach John Tortorella. Associate head coach Bradshaw steps in on an interim basis, and the Flyers are in action tonight against the Canadians while the Stars and Flames drop the puck before the Avs battle the Kings. MLB opening day has 14 games. At the bottom of the 7th, the Jays are down 9-2 to the Orioles. Elsewhere, the Rangers and Red Sox are tied at 2 at the end of the 6th. While the Mets trail 3-0 to the Astros at the bottom of the 5th. Toronto rematches Baltimore tomorrow evening. On the court, Dallas visits Orlando. Miami hosts Atlanta, while the Grizzlies challenge the Thunder on an 8-game NBA slate. For March Madness, 4 games go down. BYU matches up against Alabama to kick things off. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding areas since '93. They have doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, they got plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff today at Windsor Plywood Leduc. Reid and Jay discuss bumping goalies on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Do you have pets? Horses? Chickens? Did the place you used to get your feed recently close down? Have no fear. Clover Bar Feeds is here. Whether it's dogs, cats, horses, or chickens, Clover Bar Feeds has you covered. Offering a large variety of food and feed, you can trust the experts at Clover Bar Feeds. They've been family owned and operated for over 60 years. This means you can expect nothing less than top-notch service and selection. Come visit them at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park, or visit them online at cloverbarfeeds.com.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know. Blue Jays trailing Baltimore 9-2 in the bottom of the 7th. Jays have runners on first and second with 2 out. Ernie Clement batting for the Blue Jays. We are in the Canadian Brew House studio. Really appreciate Canadian Brew House sponsoring our studio. Craving a quick bite? Try the Canadian Brew House Express Lunch. How about this? Served in under 15 minutes, or it's free. Try the ribeye smash burger or turkey club sandwich. Monday to Friday until 2 p.m., the Canadian Brewhouse Studio. All right, second clue, Hudson's Canada's Pub Mystery Athlete of the Game. The second clue is Blue Jays. You must text your guesses to the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox, 780-218-9999. Maximum 3 guesses per person. And what were we doing? Maximum of 1 prize win every 2 weeks, right?
Correct.
Ish.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, if you won,
just follow.
If you won yesterday, poor guy. You can't win today. The first clue was California. You can guess, but we'll know you won recently and be like, hey, let's spread it around. Let's spread the love. So second clue is Blue Jays. First clue, California. That narrows it down.
It's a good one.
It certainly is a good one. All right. Jay and I are here at the Expos. The Oilers play the Seattle Kraken tonight. We will have a guest out of Seattle, though, our buddy Mike Benton, host of the Kraken radio broadcast. He's going to join us in about half an hour. He's always good to talk to. Oh, I'm also excited. Around 5:30, former Oil Kings coach Brad Lauer is going to be on the show.
Yeah.
So in the first round in the dub, so the Oil Kings obviously start in PA tomorrow. On the other side of the draw, one of the series is Spokane, Vancouver. Vancouver's coached by Manny Viveros, former Oilers assistant, St. Albert native. He was on the show yesterday. Brad Lauer coaches Spokane. And he's going to be on the show today. So that's awesome. I've known both those guys for a few years now. And Spokane has the better regular season record and will start the series on the road because of NCAA women's basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have the Sweet 16 there. So anyway, Brad will be on a little bit later on too. Pleased that you're tuning in. Keep giving us that thumbs up on YouTube. So we kind of stalled here. Oddly enough, when you put out the call for the sleepover, the thumb stalled a little bit. We better focus on word of the day. We better just focus on getting us to a word of the day. Let's get to 100 by the top of the hour. We're 2 dozen away, so get in there and click, and then we'll keep building to word of the day territory. Our afternoon debate is presented by the Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club. Early bird golf memberships now on sale at the Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club with discounts for seniors and first responders, plus special rates for Sturgeon County residents. Enjoy GPS carts and awesome driving range deals. Inside, kick back and enjoy a pint or a pound of wings with their full bar and restaurant. For more info, visit egmgolf.com. I guess they feel like early bird memberships with the weather today.
Oh, yeah.
But it will be golf season pretty soon. Well, somebody was texting, was it yesterday or the day before, that a driving range by St. Albert or on the way to St. Albert was open. What was it called? Lone Gunman, Lone Pine, something like that. Lost Pine, Lonely Pine. You remember Coop? Coop's just like, I don't even want to be on this show anymore. He's probably really relieved you're back though. He was stuck with me solo for the last 3 days.
No, I did miss you, Jay. I did miss you though. It's nice to have you here back on the show.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's better than having just to deal with me.
Well, if you were gone, I would be up.
I'm going to be gone next week.
You're going to be gone next week.
I'm going to be gone next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
It's going to be me and this guy that was just sitting in here.
Is Iwanyk doing the show?
Iwanyk is.
So last night the Oilers lose 4-3, and Stuart Skinner gets bumped by Rantanen quite hard and has to leave the game. And again, is not traveling today. Olivier Rodrigue is called up from the farm, so Pickard's the expected starter. And then Pickard comes in, and he gets bumped. Some people would say run by Sam Steele, who did get a penalty on the play.
Yeah.
So first of all, Corey Perry asked after the game, "Are you satisfied with the response to your goalies being bumped?"
I was pissed at myself. I didn't see what happened. That's I was on the ice, and when Rantanen hit Skinner, and that's on me. I should never let that happen. I didn't see what happened. I saw Stu go down, and everybody just standing there. I didn't see it until afterwards, and I was pretty pissed at myself. I didn't see it.
And fair enough, but at the same time, to a degree, it's everybody's responsibility. Do you think you've done a good enough job of this as a group this season when it comes to your goalies?
We'll talk about that internally.
All right. So you don't want to put words in somebody's mouth, but it's also our job to interpret what people might actually be saying when they're not saying it. I think that we can interpret that answer as no, that perhaps we haven't done things well enough. I'll try to simplify this, I guess, from my point of view first, Jay, and I know we're going to hear from listeners on this, and I know you were watching the game and you have your opinions on it, and you played a very physical and sometimes mean sport known as football. I think what Corey Perry is saying there at the end is that it doesn't matter if it was a clean, intentional, unintentional bump on the goaltender. We need to start reacting to it. Like it can't be, Rantanen didn't see him. And look, Rantanen didn't mean to do that.
No.
And Skinner's reaching for the puck. But I think what Corey Perry is saying, we can't sit there and say, oh, it was an accident. We just need to say our goalie was jostled, our goalie was bumped, our goalie was slashed, our goalie took a shot after the whistle. We need to face wash the other guy, cross-check the other guy, maybe fight him, though we both know you can't really goad someone to a fight if they don't want to do anything. And even the Sam Steele play, and that was on Pickard, you just have to say, okay, our goalie got bumped. We don't want our goalie to get bumped. We need to make him feel safe in that area, or we at least need to let him know that we got his back, right? That we're not just going to put our heads down and be like, hey, Stu, like I can't fight the guy. Like he didn't know what he was doing to you. The Oilers I think Perry is saying, and I would not be surprised if Perry or somebody delivers that message. Hey guys, I don't give a crap how our goalie got bumped. I don't give a crap if the refs think it's legal or if it was an accident. Our goalie doesn't get bumped. Flat out rule. Okay? I think that's what Corey Perry is saying there.
I agree. Now, on the Sam Steele incident, well, Jake Wallman went to the box too. Okay, so do you want to sit there and say, no, they gotta rough him up and make him know that he can't do that? Okay, great. But you lost a power play late in the game. That really, at that point, it was 4-1. Nobody knew what was going to happen after that, but that could have really accelerated things. So is that the right response of Jake Wallman to jostle Sam Steele, which, by the way, for him to get a roughing penalty on that was quite weak. He could have, if he knew he was going to take a penalty, I think he would have bounced his head off the ice a couple times. He really didn't do all that much.
And it's hard to try to fight a guy who's already fallen down.
I thought he was just saying, shaking him up and saying, hey, don't do that. Yeah. I didn't think it deserved a penalty. So that's the other side, is do you want a guy to overreact and then nullify what was already a power play?
I think and this is what, there are a lot of ways to look at this, and I think players still have to be smart. Tie game, 7 minutes left, your goalie gets bumped. Okay, maybe you don't want, maybe there are times you say, or your goalie's going to say, leave it, guys, leave it. Like if Pickard's turning around saying, leave it, we're going to get a 5-on-3 or a power, whatever. Like there are moments to do that. But I think maybe what we're saying here is that the Oilers' default switch needs to be, we're going to do something about it. And then maybe in the moment, okay, Skinner gets bumped and I see the ref's arm go up and you're my D partner and you didn't see the ref's arm go up. And you're going after the guy, and then maybe that in that situation it's on me and the goalie to say, Jay, leave it.
Chill.
Leave it. We're up. Good power play. Take a number. Maybe things like that. But I've said this before. I know Gager was referencing me saying it. The Oilers need to be stronger in front of both nets, and not against the Seattle Kraken. Well, yes, against the Seattle Kraken, but especially against the Dallases and Vegases and LAs of the world, who we're going to see those two teams total of 3 times the rest of the way.
Protect this house. Protect your crease. Make the other crease a living nightmare for that goalie. That's the job. Now, there was a saying, used to say that in football all the time. Take a number and take care of it between the whistles. That might be more of a realistic approach for a Corey Perry. Okay, you got away with this one, Rantanen, but next time, you're going to finish that check a little harder or try and aggravate him a bit. There's ways that stick work, things that you're not always going to get called on, that players can do to retaliate.
Right.
But you just don't see enough of that or any of it. And when you do, it nullifies what would have been a 5-on-3. that really could have been a big difference in that game.
All right. Well, we'll keep talking about this because I think that even though I'd like to see the Oilers have more of a net presence on offense, they're not Angels either. So, this is the back and forth of how this discussion goes. We'll hear what Chris Knobloch said about it after the game. I know some of you won't like it and don't like his approach in general, but I do think it's relevant to hear what the head coach has to say about it. Blue Jays still down 9-2 in the 8th. It's the 4 o'clock break on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
The Lock Shop.
You know what? Things are good. It's opening day. Big gulps are 79 cents right now.
What? Is it all sizes, big gulps, one price?
As a guy that doesn't drink coffee, but loves a nice morning big gulp, it's a 32 ouncer, which is usually more than enough. Definitely easier just to carry around in your hand, utilize from your drink holder in your car. The efficiency is much better.
The Lock Shop, weekday mornings at 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
Someday you'll be shedding your tears.
A one-of-a-kind retrospective. It's Glass Tiger, This Island Earth, April 4th at River Cree Resort and Casino.
Don't forget me when I'm gone.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
Play more tables and games.
Play more tables and games. Make the most of your bad game. Oh, you want to, you need to, you know just what you gotta do. It's time to add some fun to your life. Make the most of your bad game. Play more tables and games.
PlayMoreGames.ca.
Edmonton's Stuart Skinner did not travel to Seattle with the team after he collided with Dallas's Mikko Rantanen last night, exiting the third period. Calvin Pickard took over in that game and will start tonight for the Oilers against the Kraken, with Olivier Rodrigue taking the backup role after he's been called up from the Condors. Derek Ryan heads back the other way. Join Tom Gazzola at Boston Pizza Westgate as he goes live with Hernan Salas for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 7, only on EST. And with John Tortorella being fired, Flyers interim head coach Brad Shaw coaches his first game as Philly takes on Montreal, and around the league, Detroit battles Ottawa. The Caps and Wild go at it before St. Louis hits the ice in Nashville on an 8-game NHL slate. 11 of 14 total games for MLB opening day are live. The Jays are getting battered 11-2 by the Orioles at the top of the 8th in the first of a 3-game set. They rematch tomorrow. And at the bottom of the 8th, the Yankees hold the Brewers 4-1. NBA action sees 8 games. The Lakers and Bulls tip off. Houston meets Utah, and the Spurs challenge the Cavaliers. While March Madness Sweet 16 kicks off, 4 games, including the Wildcats and Blue Devils butting heads. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The second hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
Okay, so things happen fast, right? When we went to break, I said it was 9-2 Orioles. During the Coob Sports Update, he said it was 11-2 Orioles, which it was. It's now 12-2 for the Orioles because they just hit another home run. So 12-2, Baltimore leading the Blue Jays in the top of the 8th. It is just game 1 of 162.
God.
No need to fret. Lots of time for the Blue Jays to turn it around.
Finishing up a heater.
Dave J. Did you hear Dave J the other day?
I did, Reid. We listened to it. Actually, we listened to it while we were driving through the pride and joy of your old hometown, Entwistle, or Evansburg. Sorry, both.
Right.
We drove the whole way home listening to the Reid Wilkins show. It was great.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. That's quite a drive.
Did you miss yourself on the show?
Did I miss myself? It was weird when we would listen to it and then a commercial would come on that I voiced.
Oh, okay.
And the girls would be like, Dad, that's you. That Highway 16 west of Edmonton, is the worst, bumpiest highway I've ever driven in my life. I don't know if it's just because it's a time of year where things are moving and thawing and shifting, but my gosh, you could hardly drink a fresh cup of coffee without burning yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should be.
Well, I just drove it because I went to Jasper, 3 weeks ago now, whenever it was.
Yeah.
But I came back in that snowstorm, which wasn't great. But I appreciate that you sent me, I don't know who took the picture, the sign of the Evansburg entrance or exit, I guess.
We were here.
16. We were here. Yeah, that's great.
I wanted to take one of the Evansburg cemetery. There is a sign for that.
Oh, wow.
Coming the other way. Heading back to Edmonton, there is a sign for Evansburg Cemetery.
Is the cemetery. I'm trying to remember where the cemetery. Is it south of the highway? Is it on the other side of the highway?
Yeah.
Right. The town's on the north side.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's really great. Give us a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. You can post in the nasty chat. A lot of good discussion going on there. We are just shy of 100 thumbs, so let's get there, and then we'll keep pushing higher and higher. You can text us using the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox, 780-218-9999. River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant. All you can eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every Friday. That's from 4 to 10 p.m. Email us, Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, Jay at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Bronco Nick was here at the station earlier. What did he win? He won easy trivia, I think.
Text of the day. And he has emailed. I said, we challenged him.
You challenged him, actually.
To a Bo Nix limerick.
And he did it.
Do it.
The Broncos picked Nix at 12. A starting quarterback, Peyton did delve. He does look great. A Super Bowl I contemplate. Can he be better than number 12? Pretty good. Pretty good. Fourth line. Tighten that up a bit.
I thought that was very
pretty good. It's pretty well done.
Well done.
Am I overly picky?
Are you? No, you're consistent.
I try to have consistent standards.
Consistent. Yeah, it's totally fine.
Including for myself.
You are probably as picky about on yourself as you would on anybody else, maybe even more.
In some ways, yes.
Right?
Hello, Matt Hyman, checking in the nasty chat.
Apparently, the highway on Highway 43 before Grand Prairie is also quite teeth-chattering.
I bet it would be.
Yeah.
I realized when I went to Jasper how seldom I leave Edmonton and Highway Drive. And it used to be such a big part of my life growing up near Evansburg. When you come into Edmonton every week or two, you're on the highway. And then living in Lloydminster for 7 years, I was probably back in Edmonton probably twice a month on average.
That highway's fine. That's better. Man, it honestly, it was terrible. And J Rock in the nasty chat, I guess you haven't driven on a Saskatchewan highway. I understand they're pretty sparse in Saskatchewan in terms of quality, but I'm just comparing this to something I would drive on the regular. Like we take Highway 2 south a lot.
Oh, right.
And that is flat. That is pretty darn good.
All right. 780-218-9999, the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Do you want me to do a clue now?
Yeah, let's do a clue now.
We'll do a clue now because, then we got Oil Understood here, and then we have a guest coming up. So,
nobody's sniffing at it, by the way.
Really? Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're watching it today. I haven't opened the text line today. The third clue is number retired. So the first clue, California. Second clue, Blue Jays. Now, just to ask you, this is not giving anything away. Did anybody guess the couple of players that I predicted would be guessed?
No.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, wow. So California, Blue Jays, and the third clue is number retired. Okay? 780-218-9999, the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Maximum of 3 guesses per person. Let's transition to the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Now a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel. Understood. So let's get to the comment from Chris Knobloch after last night's game. He was asked, again by Ryan Rashog. Ryan's all over this, by the way.
He's on fire.
Boy, when Ryan played hockey, his goalies must have been the safest guys on the ice. Because if you touched him, they knew Ryan was coming after you. Knobloch on the Oilers' response, or lack thereof, to their goalies being bumped.
Yeah, I'm not sure else. You know, we had a good push. I'm not sure what we can do without taking a major penalty. You know, if a guy doesn't want to fight, you don't fight. And if you take it in your hands, you're vulnerable to taking the suspension. So, yeah, there's not much we can comment on that.
All right, so look, and this is going to factor into the whole discussion around Knobloch, because when I was on the post-game show last night with Belzy and Hernan and Tom, somebody brought it up that Knobloch is basically wouldn't encourage his players to be aggressive and physical. Which I get, but I also get what he's saying. Like, this isn't the 1970s, where you're always your head is on a swivel because somebody might jump you, or you might need to go jump somebody else, and fights just break out all the time. Rantanen is not going to fight. I mean, Sam Steele was, and again, as you said, like, Sam Steele was lying on the ice, and the Oilers pushed him a couple times and got a penalty. I guess you could have picked him up and said, "Okay, we're fighting." And he could have said yes or no, I suppose, in that situation. So this is where you can go back and forth on this. Generally speaking, like I've said, I think the Oilers could be sturdier, beefier, more aggressive, more ornery in front of their own net and in front of the other team's net. But that doesn't just go to goalie bumping. That, to me, that just also is related to just being competitive and firm in those areas. I think there's something else we have to discuss here. You don't want other teams to play that way around your goalie, but you want the team you're cheering for to play that way in front of the other team's goalie. I'm sure there have been talk shows in other markets about what are we going to do about Zach Hyman? Why is his ass always in our goalie's face?
Yep.
Why doesn't someone push him out of there? Right?
Yep. Not enough of that conversation this year, in my opinion.
Right. Fair point. But it's not as if, the Oilers have completely angelic players either. I do think, and I said this to the guys last night, the Oilers are not just missing their 2 most skilled players with McDavid and Draisaitl, they're missing 2 of their most aggressive players.
Fair point.
I mean, Draisaitl can be downright dirty with his stick. We've seen him take penalties out of frustration, but that's probably also Leon saying, to hell with it. I'm just going to show this guy that I'll turn around and throw him to the ice if he keeps sticking me. I mean, wasn't it last year or the year before, he just threw a Flames player to the ice, like clear penalty, went and sat in the box. Okay. But he probably just was like, hey, enough. I'm going to give myself a couple freebies a year.
Right. And I mean, I think it was Chris Pronger was on a show, and he said someone should, even taking a suspension would be worth it in some cases to get the message across that it's just not acceptable.
Right.
Right. Now, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. And I also think, like, there's always a talk, not just in hockey, but in sports, where we got to send a message. If you're in the NHL, you've had to deal with abuse. And even players in the NHL who might be considered soft in the world of hockey, they're not. They've made it to the NHL. But as I was alluding to earlier, I think sometimes you have to send a message to your teammates.
Yes.
I got your back.
That's more important.
I might not stop Sam Steele from driving the net, or Brad Marchand from being cheesy. Now he's with Florida. But I'm gonna tell you, Stuart Skinner. I'm gonna tell you, Calvin Pickard. that if you get bumped or I feel somebody's taking a liberty with you, I'm not just going to meekly line up for the face-off. I'm going to come in and I'm going to stir it up and at least make you feel like, oh man, look at these guys. Like,
yeah, something like, okay, with Rantanen, just drive him back into the boards. It doesn't have to be that, but it has to be noticed on both parts, the bench, the coaches, Pickard, to say, okay, at least somebody's doing something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but it is difficult. I mean, again, and Knobloch said this, you can't just really fight. You'll get a major penalty. And, I mean, heck, the Oilers almost got a point out of the game despite being down 4-0 after 2 periods. I mean, they could have said at that point, to hell with it. We're just going to goon it up. We're going to toss Sam Steele into the boards. We're going to run Ottinger, all this kind of stuff. So I don't know if there's a perfect solution to each individual scenario. But I will say, in general, and I think this is what Corey Perry was saying earlier, that maybe the Oilers just need to say, guys, anything questionable with our goaltender, we're in there. It doesn't mean you go in and fight, but you go in, you face wash, you give a little cross check, do whatever.
Something.
So the other team is uncomfortable, or it makes them think, oh, I don't just own the front of the Oilers net. I got to pay a price to go there. Will we see that? Do they have the personnel and the personalities to play that way? I guess we'll still find out as the season finishes and we go into the playoffs. Do we have a winner?
We have a winner.
That is amazing.
3 clues.
Who is the winner?
Corey B.
Corey B got it. Okay.
Now, I want to say this text, because it's a first-time texter read. Somebody that's never texted EST before, text in today. Kelly Stockwell says, it's the mystery player Ricky Henderson.
That's who I thought might be guessed.
First-time texter. Sorry, Kelly. It was not.
I was trying to lead people down that path a little bit with the first 2 clues. I'm not going to lie to you. I wasn't sure someone would get it quite this early, but Corey B is a smart guy, and people kind of know how we're doing this. Well, they don't know exactly how we're doing it, but
I think that the direction here is how you interpreted Blue Jays.
Correct.
That would be the tipping point.
Are there other possibilities? It's opening day. California can be a lot of different things.
It can.
There was a team called the California Angels. Well, they're still called the Angels. They've just changed. Are they LA? Because they were California, Anaheim, then they were LA Angels of Anaheim. I think they're just the LA Angels now. Hey, Coop. They got halos on their hats. We got to get Coop an LA Angels hat. This person was born in California, okay, in 1981. The second clue was Blue Jays. He played for the Creighton Blue Jays basketball team in the NCAA.
Oh.
His number 25 has been retired by this team. The next clue was 2-time Player of the Year. Not MVP, it's called Player of the Year in the Missouri Valley Conference. That's when I thought somebody might get it for sure. And then the final clue is traded for a copy machine. Okay? So this person was drafted by the New Jersey Nets in the NBA, and then he was he drafted 51st overall in 2003. He was traded to the 76ers for $125,000, or sold, I guess, which was reportedly used to cover the Nets' summer league costs and to pay for a new copy machine. Therefore, he has been branded with the moniker, the label, traded for a copy machine. It is former NBA player, now assistant general manager of the Atlanta Hawks, Kyle Korver. How about that? Who saw Kyle Korver being mentioned on the show today?
Kind of has a striking resemblance to Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Just a sweet stroke. That guy, man, he could hit. It's I think it was mostly. Where was he? Was it with the Cavs? Atlanta Hawks. He was with Atlanta. That's what it was when he was with the Hawks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lovely.
So Corey B gets the $25 gift card to Hudson's.
Well done.
Canada's Pub. That was a good one. That was a good one. When's our next one? Not till next week. Oh, Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. What day is that?
That is April 1st.
That's April 1st. Man, that's an important day around here, eh?
Well, depends on your point of view, as Obi-Wan once said.
It's very important. Well, we'll be past, we'll be out of the, I guess, ability to be April Fool's, or however you would say that.
Yes.
Henwade.
Yeah.
Because you can't do it afternoon, right?
Theoretically.
Yeah,
no, we're not going to do any April Fool's jokes. All right, more discussion on the Oilers. Goalies being bumped going into the game tonight against Seattle. Oh, our buddy Mike Benton, who covers the Kraken, is coming up after the Coop.
Olivier Rodrigue has been called up from the AHL by the Oilers. Stuart Skinner did not travel with the team to Seattle after he exited yesterday's game with a head injury. Calvin Pickard takes the crease tonight. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas go live from Boston Pizza Westgate as they preview the action during the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 7 right here on EST. 10 games around the NHL. Interim head coach Brad Shaw takes over for the Flyers as they battle the Canadiens. Calgary hosts Dallas while the Lightning and Hockey Club go head-to-head. MLB opening day sees the Jays down by 10 runs at the top of the ninth. 14 total games going on. And for basketball, the NBA sees the Mavs and Magic throwdown. Portland going at it with Sacramento while the Grizzlies tip off against the Thunder, having 8 games in the association. 4 games on tap in March Madness. Florida and Maryland have a date before BYU challenges Alabama. This sports update is brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy. Get treated like a pro with their highly skilled crew. Whether you're recovering from an injury or looking to enhance your performance, get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game. Visit their website at advantagesportmed.ca to preview tonight's Oilers game between the Kraken. Mike Benton joins Reid Wilkins and Jay Milne. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
It's time for a wing throwdown at the Canadian Brewhouse. Fuego Verde versus Honey Blaze. Who's got the best flavor? Come taste the heat and get your wing fix anytime. Plus 69-cent wings all day Wednesdays. The Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house.
Join our very own Dustin Nielsen, Trey and Terrell Ford of the Edmonton Elks, and other special guests on Tuesday, April 8th at the Bell in Scona for Edmonton Sports Talks Bids for Kids, presented by GS Construction. A special live on-location show featuring a delicious appetizer buffet, silent auction, 50/50, and more. This year, Kids Sport is proudly celebrating 30 years of making a positive impact in our community. Don't miss out and join this special celebration to help continue to support those in need. Tickets are limited. Find them today at kidsportbidsforkids.com. That's kidsportbidsforkids.com.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
Someday you'll be shedding your tears.
A one-of-a-kind retrospective. It's Glass Tiger, This Island Earth, April 4th at River Cree Resort and Casino.
Don't forget me when I'm gone.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
Appreciate you tuning in this afternoon. The Blue Jays are going to need to do a little bit of work here in the bottom of the ninth. They're coming to bat down 12-2 to the Baltimore Orioles in the season opener. Been a tough go for the Jays this afternoon. The Oilers, they had the puck a lot, but wound up with the loss last night against the Dallas Stars. They have beat, what are they at, 9 wins in a row against the Kraken? Law of average. The Seattle fans are walking around saying law of averages today, because that's often what I say. Our Voices of the Game segment features a guy that I have enjoyed getting to know over the last few years, presented by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated since 1993. We're more than just plywood. We offer everything from doors and flooring to decking, fencing, and custom millwork. With a huge selection of hardwoods and knowledgeable staff, we're here for all your DIY needs. Windsor Plywood Leduc, the experts you need to know. From the Kraken Radio Network, their host on KRJ Radio, Mike Benton. Check it in. Mike, it's Reid and Jay. How are you?
Hey, fellas. I'm glad to be with you. How are you?
Well, we're great. We know you're extremely busy, so thank you for fitting us in. We got to start there. Can you take us through the last, I don't know what we're looking at, 7 or 8 or 10 days in Seattle, sports-wise?
Yeah, absolute craziness around here. So, of course, we have the Kraken who have, they're pretty much out of this playoff mix right now. It's only about a couple of losses until they have an E by their name, but there's still hockey going on. The Mariners open up for opening day literally about 3 miles south of us over at T-Mobile Park at about 7 o'clock here for this evening. Doors open at 4:30. Geno Smith is shipped out of town from the Seattle Seahawks. They then bring in Sam Darnold as well. So, if it was getting to the point where if we had 1 or 2 more elements of breaking news, we would have to probably do something with Billy Joel, and we didn't start the fires. So it's getting pretty crazy around here. Everything's going on at this point. I think only the Stanley Cup playoffs might be a little bit more to kind of add here to this. So, not a dull day in this sports rabid town. They love their sports. They are engrossed in sports, and it really, I think, really bumps a notch up here for how much this town really means to a lot of people, just because of how much their sports teams are so tied to everyone with their emotions in this entire city.
Okay, so how many, I'll ask you a two-parter here. I know we're not supposed to do that in broadcasting, but you'll remember both questions. So how many basketball games were there last weekend, and does your station have the Mariners rights? Like, you got to work on those broadcasts.
Yeah, so actually, I forgot to mention, too, we had March Madness around here as well, so we can throw that right into the mix. And they had the first and the second round over at Climate Pledge Arena. I had a great chance to cover those, or at least the first round, when they were opening up here. And they had a great upset with Colorado State, and then Maryland won at the buzzer to advance onto the Sweet 16. We don't carry the Mariners games. That's for the station across the street from us, so to speak here. But we're pretty dialed in with Mariners coverage. So there's a fun spot that's right across from the ballpark. If those of who are Jays fans come down from, say, Vancouver, elsewhere, they notice a fun hotel, fun restaurant. Jimmy's on first, and our entire day programming is locked up right out there. Literally from 6 a.m. until about 6:30 until we are on the air here for the Kraken and the Oilers. So a lot of busy times around here for sure.
Mike Benton joining us, Kraken Radio host on KRJ Radio Seattle. Mike, I wanted to ask you, you just mentioned, you had this sporting event, this going on, live happening, but you also alluded to Geno Smith and NFL moves that happen, and the NFL is not even remotely, there was free agency, obviously, but out of all those sports that you can choose from, if you are a Seattle resident, is the NFL still king? Is the NFL the big dog?
Yeah, it kind of feels like the NFL is a big dog still pretty much around here. And to be fair, the Seahawks have been here since the late 70s. The Kraken are still in year 4 right now of, entrenching themselves firmly within this community. Now, sellout after sellout after sellout shows they're making pretty good progress. And once you can get a consistent Stanley Cup playoff team on ice here, then you're going seriously next level. The Mariners have fallen a bit back because of, despite how well they draw and despite how stacked this pitching staff is heading into this season, not only have they refused to upgrade any bats within the lineup, they have basically publicly come out and said, we're doing this our way, and this is the only way. And they're effectively running it back with the same lineup from last season, where they missed the playoffs again for what it felt like the 18th consecutive season by a nose hair with a lineup this good. Now, we're being a bit overdramatic here, but the point is that there, I mean, from what we've learned over the last 7-8 months, there has been a collective groan from this fan base to get better. They are craving for a World Series in Seattle. They have never seen a World Series in Seattle. They beat the Jays, of course, 2 years ago. Sorry to remind you, from the wild card series. They lost in 3 to Houston, but one was off a Yordan Alvarez walk-off homer. The other took 18 innings here to get through, and all of a sudden Houston was done with them in 3 games. But it was such an electrifying series where it really felt like the Mariners were this close to grabbing it and then taking it and running with it. And again, we go back to how good this pitching staff is. There's the collective feeling of, if only they have the bats to not even match it, but maybe, I would say, in theory, match half of the value that this pitching staff is giving here, because it puts so much strain on them. But yet here we are, and they're still just fighting for a wild card spot, which is the kind of the reason why that, you know, the Mariners still draw plenty of attention, like every other team around here, but there's just a lot more anger about where this team is and where they should be, despite how promising they are. And again, what they don't hope is that they run this window all the way through and shut it with a pitching staff that has been so good, but an offense that won't produce, nor will there be any willingness here to upgrade this offense as well.
All right, to transition to the Kraken, like you said, they will not be in the playoffs. Their goal differential is -20. Adam Larson, the former Oiler, is +15. And it's not because he has, like, Bouchard's +15. He has 57 points. I know a lot of those are on the power play, but still, like, Larson is +15. He has 22 points. So basically, if he's on the ice, the other team doesn't score. It seems like.
Yeah, I mean, really, Adam Larson's game has been, you know, one of the bright spots for this team here for this season, and because he and Vince Dunn chew up so much ice time. Then you have Brandon Montour in that mix. Riker Evans, who's gone through a few speed bumps in the last couple of weeks, but yet it still rounds out to a defensive core that has been the least of this team's concerns. The problem is you can't play Adam Larson for 40, 50, 60 minutes a game here. You've got to rotate through, and the problem hasn't been with the defense and mainly their job at defending the net. It's been more of a 5-on-5 issue. It's been a big defensive issue within that scope, and how much they have effectively tried to boost offense, and for good reason. They're a team that couldn't score in the first 3 seasons. Well, they've turned the dial up, but what does that cost you? Well, it's costing defensive mistakes over and over and over. Quite few of them, if any, have been at the fault of Adam Larson here. I thought it was hilarious where we were at trade deadline time and reports were coming out with the Kraken. Maybe, of course, they're seeing this window close with the collective group that they have, and players like Yanni Gord were on the way out. Bjorkstrand was on the way out as well. There was one report that Toronto was calling for Adam Larson, and the feedback from Seattle's side was, not only are we not trading him, but please lose our number. He's been that good for them on this back end. He's really found a home here, a solid home in Seattle. He and Vince Dunn have been inseparable ever since they were paired together consistently back in season 2. And I think for how decent this roster has been stacked, it's been arguably, you know, the best roster they've had in the first 4 years, but they just haven't been able to put this thing here together. And at the very top of that is a guy who you can depend on for a solid 20, 22, 25 minutes a night to take care of your own end, and Larson has certainly been just that, a 5-on-5.
Let's just close by looking at the matchup. I mentioned the Oilers' winning streak against Seattle. The last time Seattle beat the Oilers was January 3rd, 2023. I mean, most of the games are a goal or two, but the Oilers still win. There is no Draisaitl and no McDavid tonight. Having said that, they just played without those two guys, and Nuge stepped up and got a hat trick. I mean, just kind of your thoughts on the Oilers' streak and the matchup tonight. Like, are the Kraken, are they in that mentality of we got to spoil it for other teams, right? Like, let's see if we can keep another team lower down where they want to be.
Well, you have to play for something, and despite there being no E right now by their name in the standings, there's pretty much a feel that they understand where they are right now in this situation, and the fate is certainly coming into reality here at this point. But nonetheless, they made a pledge at the trade deadline where they want to be better collectively in their game. They want to show that their best hockey has yet to be played here for this season. And the question, of course, and it's a fair one, is where was this conversation maybe about 3-4 months ago, roughly? Nonetheless, the reality is this. They're going to be playing here for jobs for a few of them on this roster come, this next summer where, some decisions might be ahead as far as where this roster takes shape. Ron Francis cleared about $20 million projected here for the salary cap to go out and make a massive upgrade. And he has said we need more scoring up front. They don't have that aircraft carrier in their top six, arguably top line as well. Beniers is still growing. Shane Wright, he's looking great now in the real deal, but he's still growing as well and still very, very young here at this point. So in the full scope of this, they want to show that they're hitting pedal to metal by the end of this regular season schedule. Edmonton has been a consistent matchup problem for them for many reasons. I mean, McDavid does this thing, Draisaitl does this thing as well. They're not going to play, but the answer was brought with the question heading into last matchup, how deep is this lineup? Well, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins answered that emphatically here. So for the Kraken, it's about trying to keep the middle of the ice clean. Also staying out of the box, that's been a big issue here for this team as well too. Edmonton did some damage in the power play last matchup out here as well. So I think ultimately for me, for the Kraken, who have been such a great third period team, they've been a great comeback team as well, but there's still more on the table to prove. Can you play a good, clean first period and come out with the lead? That hasn't happened since March 12th. So really in the scope, I would look at, can they keep things as clean at 5-on-5 as possible and then build their game from there after period one?
Mike, just one last question for you here. I was looking at your Twitter bio, and it says that your team Eddie Bauer. So Eddie Bauer is the clothing company we all know. I you see it in every mall up here, but my question to you is this. I'd imagine that's part of some sort of a deal you have with clothing and all that stuff, but what is one piece of Eddie Bauer clothing, a garment that you know of, that you love, that you think we should know about, that maybe we don't know about?
I wore the right thing at the right time, I think, here for this conversation. So, yeah, full disclosure, I do have an endorsement with Eddie Bauer as well on several levels, but they've been a very, very good partner. This thing is an absolute killer as far as the wardrobe. It's called the Thermal Henley. It feels like it's almost like a blanket that I'm wearing with sleeves, and it's great to dress up, great to dress down. I've worn it before on road trips. I think I wore it actually in my trip out to Edmonton. We were hanging out at dinner with a few friends the night before the game. I've taken this thing in the car, worn it when I've commuted from this area down to Portland for WHL games I do locally on Fox. And, you don't feel much as far as any perspiration, nothing, but it does a job as far as keeping you warm, and it's an everyday staple of mine here too. So yeah, I'm Team Eddie Bauer all the way, and they've been a great partner here for me.
Oh, that's awesome, Mike. It was first of all great to see you because you did play-by-play for Everett the first time Seattle was in town. Yeah. But you and Everett are just incredible gentlemen. I love talking with you guys. Yeah. I know you're incredibly busy today, so thank you for making time for us here on the Reid Wilkins Show. I'll say enjoy your summer, but we'll find a reason to have you on even after the Kraken are out. Sound good?
You just make an excuse, and I'm right here, Reid. You know me.
That's awesome. We'll see you soon, buddy. Have a great day.
All right, fellas. Thank you.
Mike Benton checking in. We don't do goof ups as much as we used to, but I have a goof up. It is KJR Radio. What did I put on the lineup?
KRJ.
It is KJR. Yeah. But anyway. He was.
So I guess we both goofed.
He was. Well, you were just going off what I said. He was kind enough not to correct us. Mike's great. Everett is great. Yes, like Seattle, like they're sort of entertaining to watch because that game Saturday against the Oilers, it's like, well, they can actually create stuff, but they make mistakes too.
Yeah,
and to be like Larson's having a great season, but the Oilers even hemmed in Larson and Dunn on Saturday night.
Yep.
So we'll see what Edmonton can do tonight, still without their big guys and with Pickard in net. Jay and I are in the Canadian Brewhouse studio. Great logo on our TV if you're watching us with the YouTube stream. It's time for a wing throwdown at the Canadian Brewhouse. Fuego Verde versus Honey Blaze. 69-cent wing night, by the way, when it's the flavor of the month. Who's taking the crown? Hit up the Canadian Brewhouse for wing night. Our house is your house. What are we at for thumbs? 104. So we're over 100. Now we push for 130.
52 humans.
And then we push for 155 to get to the double word of the day. So keep clicking. We're only halfway through the show. So everybody jump in there and click away.
We really didn't, I mean, I know we move on from last night's game, but we really didn't talk about some of the positives that came out of last night's game.
Yeah, we can dive into that. We're going to do buying or selling. We got some good feedback.
Well, I got a good one for buying for selling for you.
Really?
I specifically just kept it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now
it's all up here, Reid.
Now I'm titillated.
Yes.
Here comes the coup.
In response to Stuart Skinner's injury from last night, Derek Ryan has been sent down to the AHL with Olivier Rodrigue being called up to serve as Calvin Pickard's backup tonight for the Oilers against the Kraken. Join Tom Gazzola live at Boston Pizza Westgate as him and Hernan Salas tee up the game during the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 7 right here on EST. And Brad Shaw and his Flyers are in action tonight against the Canadiens, while the Stars and Flames drop the puck before the Avs battle the Kings. And Toronto fell 12-2 to Baltimore on opening day. The rematch tomorrow evening. Right now, the Phillies and Nationals are tied at 3 at the top of the 9th, while the Cards hold the Twins 3-0 at the top of the 3rd. And on the court, Dallas visits Orlando. Miami hosts Atlanta, while the Grizzlies challenge the Thunder on an 8-game NBA slate. And for March Madness, 4 games go down. BYU matches up against Alabama to kick things off. The sports update is brought to you by Find Edmonton, and Find takes your unused furniture and home goods to help those moving out of homelessness. Get donations picked up or drop them off free of charge. Visit findedmonton.com or call them at 780-988-1717. Buying or selling for Damon Bunting brings us back after a brief intermission. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
Take your career to the next level with Nate's Construction Leadership and Supervision Program, a perfect tool for professionals looking to advance their role or an organization needing to develop leaders. Learn more about safety supervision, scheduling, cost control, and most importantly, how to lead a team. For more information and to register, visit nate.ca/CLSP to take your career to another level.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
You know what you're doing. Popularity
The beautiful vocal stylings of a young Jason Milne from the band North Shore. Do you remember all the lyrics from every song? Which one's this one again? I never remember which one's which.
Sellout Queen.
This was the hit.
They were all hits, Reid.
It was all killer, no filler. That was the North Shore album. Didn't Sum 41 have an album called that?
All killer, no filler.
All killer, no
I believe so. Somebody
no filler.
did. Yeah.
Or no filler, all killer.
Something like that.
Sum 41 albums. Gotta look this up now. All killer, no filler. 2001.
Chris Perper says, "Oh man, I miss Eddie Bauer's adventure fragrances."
Eddie Bauer's
For
still
men.
around, isn't it?
Apparently, the one at West Edmonton Mall was turned into Bubba Gump shrimp.
Is the one in Kingsway still there? I can't remember.
I think there's one at Southgate.
Oh, okay.
I always found Eddie Bauer clothing to be too warmish.
Is the Bay closing? Is that the latest
I heard
thing?
something about that.
Is the Bay done? Like there's no department stores left.
Look at you can buy everything online.
True, but it's nice to shop. And
I love
get
the Bay.
stuff,
Southgate Bay
try
was
things
great.
on.
Go in, get your watch fixed, go upstairs, go to the, check out the different patio furniture. You could get everything at the Bay.
This is not a great commercial for the J.
Oh,
Bay.
you could get your whole.
Yeah, I went,
I just love the people that would just try to get you to enter their little fragrance booth.
Oh,
You know,
yeah, you got. I
sample.
steer clear of those people.
Well, yeah, you'd have to have some really good nose blockers to work in that department.
Jasmine confirms the Bay closing is so sad. If anybody knows, Jasmine would know. Oh, wait a minute. Bronco Nick says the Bays are closing in Edmonton. 6 will remain open in Toronto and Montreal, which doesn't help us. Jody says Kingsway not the same as it used to be. True, but I still think Kingsway is a good mall because it's has most of the things you need, and it's not sprawling like West Ed where it takes you 14 minutes to get to the other end.
I think Kingsway was on the verge of becoming obsolete, but then they did that huge renovation, and they added a lot to it.
I like the food court there.
What food court at a mall do we not like, Reid? Come on. Is there a mall you'd go to and you say, that food court just didn't do it for me?
Lloyd Mall. It only
Really?
had four places.
I mean, let's be honest. The food court.
Yeah, fair enough.
The food court needs to have this. It needs to have Edo Japan. It needs to have the all you can eat, the Chinese pick 4, pick 3. Got to have some sort of a burger place.
Yeah.
And then a bubbly
chain,
tea.
Either A&W's or McDonald's or both. Oh, bubble tea.
Maybe a Donair.
Greek or Donair.
Greek. Yeah. Maybe Thai. You know, the I guess the staple of a food court is the pick 3, pick 4 Chinese food, is it not?
Yeah, probably. I guess so.
Because we all know, we all get suckered into that. You go, oh, what's over there today? Well, Jay, it's the same thing that's there every day.
Remember when I went for malt Chinese at Christmas?
Yeah.
And it was one of those, the first third of it, you're like, oh, I'm so hungry, it's so good. And then you get halfway through, and I was
What
like,
have I done?
I cannot finish this.
Yeah, they're
What
going
have I
to have the
done?
sweet and sour
This
pork,
tastes very artificial.
ginger beef,
Am I eating plastic?
orange chicken, rice, noodles.
If you're taking us in on YouTube, well, however you're consuming the show, we thank you. Maybe you got us on a podcast, checking us out after the fact. Thanks for doing that. On the podcast platforms, make sure you like us or subscribe us or favorite it, whatever it is, so you get notifications all the time. If you're on iHeartRadio or TuneIn Radio, I know when I go on iHeart, Edmonton Sports Talk pops up right away, so I think I put it as a preferred station months ago, probably when I got hired. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe to Edmonton Sports Talk if you haven't already. Encourage people in your life, loved ones, hated ones, whoever, co-workers, to subscribe to the Edmonton Sports Talk channel. We want to get to 11.5K hopefully today. We're just shy of that.
We're trying.
And hit that thumbs up button. We have sailed past 100. The next goal is, and we're less than 20 away, is to get to 130 for word of the day, and then we'll try to get to 100. And well, let's everybody bounce in there right now, and let's get to 130 by the top of the hour.
I can't take it anymore.
Totally achievable. Buying or Selling is presented by Damon Bunting, a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, Instagram handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate.
You know something, Reid?
What?
It's Damon's birthday today.
Happy birthday, D. Bunting.
Happy birthday, Damon Bunting. If you follow him on socials, say, hey, happy
It is
birthday.
Also, Cam Moon's birthday.
Well,
love Mooner. Saw him last night.
Wow.
Have you met Mooner?
I have not.
Someday you will.
I really want to.
You will find him as genuine as he is on
I've
the
heard
radio.
nothing. I don't think I've ever, known about a person that I didn't meet in person that I've heard more positive things about.
Yeah, he's great.
He seems like a saint.
Yeah, he's just very down to earth, very humble, loves his job, and is good at it.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good. I love
Mooner.
sometimes when we're driving home from here, I will tune in on the radio.
Well, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
So I love the sultry sounds of Cam Moon.
He would love that you call them that.
Very sultry.
So do you want to give me your buying or selling first?
Sure.
Because I think, maybe I don't know where you're going.
Well, yeah, we'll see. Okay, so obviously today's opening day in the MLB.
Oh, it's not hockey related.
No, it's not.
Oh, I thought it was going to be about the Oilers' offense, the way you teased it. Okay.
No,
Interesting.
I just thought we should talk about that at some point because
Yeah,
there
sure.
were some
We have
positives
time.
from it. But the MLB, do you think out of all the four big leagues, do you think they do opening day the best? So let me ask you this in honor of buying or selling. Buying or selling, MLB does opening day the best. I will tell you this, Reid, I am selling.
Okay.
Out of the big four.
I'm going to I'm going to not give a direct answer. Well, but I will and I won't.
Okay.
Well, I guess that's not giving a direct answer. I think that Major League Baseball has some advantages to opening day that allow them to take advantage of it. Because first of all, in baseball, every team plays almost every day. I mean, you get maybe one day off a week, right? Sometimes you might play 2 or 3 weeks in a row without a day off. So everybody plays. So if it's opening day, your team is playing. So you can hear baseball opening day is March 27th. They could have announced that months ago. You know your team is playing. The NHL can say the season starts October 6th. Well, big deal. Your team might not play till October 8th, right?
Yep.
There's usually 4 games on the first day. So that in the NHL. So that's an advantage for MLB. Opening day is opening day for everybody, unless there's a rainout or something like that. But everybody's on the schedule.
Except the
opening
Tokyo
day.
games.
Right, which was officially. But are they playing today? They're playing back and playing, aren't they?
The
Dodgers and the Cubs. I thought they were all playing. Anyway, but opening day means pretty much everybody, like everybody's going. Cubs, Diamondbacks. Yeah, so that's what I mean. If everybody's on the schedule, and baseball also has the advantage of opening day being a signal that we're moving into summer, that the weather is improving. You can spend time outside. You can go to the ballpark. Hockey and baseball, and even the CFL or the NFL, especially the NFL, can't market themselves that way, right? Oh, here's a chance to go outside and sit at the ballpark and relax and have a hot dog and a pint.
Yeah.
Right? So because of those factors, baseball has a very significant opening day. Everybody can do it, and it's also a signal for better weather on the way. In some parts of the world, I know in the United States they already have it, but it's like, it's spring, it's baseball, it's hope for everybody.
See, I didn't think you would bring in the time of year, so I will give you bonus points for that. That is a great point. I'm selling because I think there's one league that does it best, almost for the exact opposite reasons of why you like baseball. You liked baseball because everybody plays. Your team's playing on opening day.
Right.
The NFL does it the exact opposite. They have one game.
Right.
It's in prime time. It says, look at us. And they put the reigning Super Bowl champ in that game. I like it because it just, at that point, as a football fan, you're begging for NFL to start. You're done with the 22 weeks of preseason and the Canton Bowl and all the BS that comes with the preseason. It's go time. And you're just, it's exciting because even if your team's not playing, but wait till Sunday, right? Everybody's coming out of the gate. I think they do it best by having a standalone game that everybody's watching with.
Yeah, that is an exciting night. Thursday night, yeah.
And it's usually a good game. It's one of the best Thursday night games of the year.
I still remember Baltimore didn't tie it because the guy's toe was on the line.
Right?
Yeah.
Excellent game, and it's a very, very, I guess, energetic way to start the season.
But yes, opening day in baseball is very unique.
It is because there's the daytime games too. That is something that is very special.
And I think today they're spacing it out, so there's always
some games are done. 1 Eastern till 10
Yeah, like
Eastern.
there's games at 6:10 coming up here at 5 o'clock. Bunch of games are in the 8th or 9th inning. Blue Jays lost. They didn't catch up, did they?
They did not.
They did not. 12-2. And I think Kirk hit a long single that he tried to stretch into a double in the bottom of the 9th, and he got thrown out at second. Yeah, just play your phone as loud as you want, Goop. It's all good. Talk about goof ups. That's a good buying or selling. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, it's just, it's an interesting day. Let's be honest, in Canada, especially in Edmonton, okay, we are not a market for baseball.
No.
It never has been. The closest you'd get is cheering for the Blue Jays or what was the Expos.
But people still are we're talking about opening day today. And
you know why?
We had 2 colleagues wearing Blue Jays shirts.
Because it's live sports. True. Right? We're suckers for live sports.
Well, now we're going to we'll find something, even if it's Pirates Rays on some matinee that's broadcast, we'll find it and have it on.
Well, and the other thing too is, Reid, is betting. I know everybody don't talk about sports. It's a major part of it.
It is a thing.
Whereas a person that might not like baseball as much I think Big Uke cashed, he's 1-1 or 1-0 on his MLB bets for the whole season.
Quit while you're ahead, Big Uke.
Yeah, stop now. It's not going to continue.
By the way, we got a limerick here from the Big Uke. When the power goes out, what would you do? Just go on my phone, answers the coo. Torts is out. Check out, no doubt. This snow sucks and has dampened my shoe. At first I thought he wrote this show sucks. It's this snow sucks. Another more great work there from the Big U. Buying or selling? John Tortorella will coach again in the National Hockey League.
Buying.
Really?
Oh, the cannibalism that happens in this league is just incredible. Of course he will. He'll go sit in the studio for the remainder of the year or into the playoffs. Some network's going to have him on in the playoffs,
right?
For sure,
probably, yeah.
Because he's got a gift of the gab. Whether you like him or not, he can talk. So somebody will have him on, and then he'll probably, geez.
Or somebody, he's the mid-season replacement for some team. Do you think?
Probably like Bill Belichick. I know Bill's not back in the NFL at this point, but yeah, I absolutely think. Do you? Or do you think the shtick is done?
I think it's been done for a while.
Do you think this is Custer's
Quite
last
frankly,
stand?
for me, it was done when he tried to fight the Flames dressing room when he was with Vancouver, and that was 12 years ago. He's an interesting guy, and I know people who have worked with him at TSN, and he's very highly spoken of, and he's very don't him and his wife do a lot with animal rescue and animal
torts?
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah, so I think he does kind things, but yet I see him sometimes. I remember on Inside Sports a few years ago because he'd done not one of his Brooksy rants, but something I think might have been with the Blue Jackets, like he got mad or did a rant in the media or something, and I said he's like that. He's like that surly guy in high school who thinks he's like the toughest guy in school, but he's really just pouty,
Yeah.
And he's got the leather jacket and he tries to look cool. And one day he's really friendly, and then the other day he's like, "Leave me alone, Amanda. Sometimes I just need some space, okay?" And then the next day he's bringing Amanda flowers and they're holding hands again. And he's like,
Jablonski.
He's like, yeah, he's the guy always yelling at Jablonski. Watch him be Edmonton's coach in my time covering the team, and I got to deal with him every day. I just he's interesting. He's personable, he's smart, he's well spoken. I don't even mind that he's emotional sometimes, but it's at the point where I'm just like, okay, dude,
Well, it's a shtick. It's run its course. You know, it's and I don't know if you wanted to get to this a little later, but to compare a coach like Knobloch to him, and that's a fiery coach. That's somebody that's already loud mouthing it. You know, 9.5 out of 10 Oilers fans would probably take Knobloch over that. Right?
Well, they would take whoever would win more. But yeah, I know people complain, okay, well, Knobloch never says anything. Or actually, that's not true. Knobloch says stuff, but he's always calm. Or do you want a coach who's like snapping at people and won't talk about the game because he's pouting about it or because he doesn't like how a question was phrased? I don't know. I'm going to sell that he's a head coach again. I think that'll be it.
Really?
Yeah.
And here's the funny thing. Maddie made a great point about this on the Hangout this morning, is that as tough as Tortorella was on media, you know, as soon as he knows, or like I said, he's going to be the first guy running to TNT or Fox or...
Yeah, he's been on TSN, right?
Right. And he's going to be covering the playoffs. Here's the guy that was the biggest piece of work for media members, now going to be employed by them. I don't know. I just find that interesting.
No, you're not the first person to make that observation. I mean, that's
it is a dog-eat-dog world.
But here's the thing: he hasn't won. So in Philadelphia, he misses the playoffs 2 years. They're not going to make the playoffs this year. With Columbus, he won one playoff round. Well, I guess they won the qualifying round, so he technically won 2 playoff rounds in 5 full seasons. You know, in Vancouver for 1 year, he missed the playoffs. So,
yeah, there's no track record that would be we got to go out and get this guy.
Even a guy like Laviolette kind of doesn't last long anywhere he goes, but generally his teams do really
results.
Well. I mean, he's been to the Cup final with Carolina, with Nashville, right? And I think Laviolette took one other team to the Cup final, but he was the Carolina coach when they beat the Oilers in 2006, right? So, yeah, he's one of those coaches. Maybe it wears off after 3 or 4 years, but those 3 or 4 years are usually really good. I thought he went to the Cup final with another team. Or maybe I'm thinking of conference finals. But now with Tortorella, how do you hire him and say, well, he wins everywhere he goes? He doesn't.
Nashville.
Just Nashville? Just Carolina and Nashville? So
Philadelphia. Lost in the Stanley Cup Finals
to Chicago, because Laviolette coached the Islanders, right?
Islanders, Carolina, Philadelphia, Nashville, Washington, Rangers.
Rather the Rangers. And he'll probably still coach one more team before he's done, right?
Probably.
But I know the Rangers have had a tough year this year, but usually where Laviolette goes, they get better, right? Or they have a little burst and then maybe it wears off. You can't say that about Tortorella for the last 15. They went to the conference finals in 12 with the Rangers. So that's 13 years. So
not good enough.
Yeah. All right, 5 o'clock break, and our old buddy Brad Lauer, former Oil Kings coach, now with Spokane, is going to join us too.
The EST Hangout.
This team does have skill, and I don't mean just Connor and Leon. There is skill throughout this entire lineup. Whether the skill shows up or not, it's a different story. Skinner didn't just fall out of 30 goals 1 year, and he is a perennial 20 to 30 goal scorer. Same thing with Nuge. Nuge has skill. Now you're leaning upon him. He has to elevate his game.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
UFC 314 goes down at the Canadian Brewhouse on April 12th. Watch every knockout on the most TVs with epic food and drinks in the best atmosphere. Don't miss the action. The Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house.
At Mind 360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind 360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind 360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
Stuart Skinner did not travel to Seattle with the Oilers after he collided with Dallas's Mikko Rantanen last night, exiting the third period. Calvin Pickard took over in that game and will start tonight for Edmonton against the Kraken, with Olivier Rodrigue taking the backup role after he's been called up from the Condors, and Derek Ryan was sent back to the AHL with that move. Join Tom Gazzola at the Boston Pizza Westgate as he goes live with Hernan Salas for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 7, only on EST. And 4 games are underway in just a moment. The Sens and Red Wings drop the puck. Utah visits Tampa Bay, while the Flyers, coached by Bradshaw, meet the Canadians. And NBA action sees 8 games. The Pacers and Wizards hit the court. Dallas visits Orlando, and the Spurs tip off against the Cavs. March Madness Sweet 16 kicks off as well. 4 games, including the Wildcats and Blue Devils butting heads. In baseball, the Jays fell short 12-2 to the Orioles. Meanwhile, the Padres hold the Braves 7-4 at the end of the 8th, and the Phillies are in extra time. Right now with the Nationals, they're up 7-3 at the top of the 10th. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The third and final hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
Oh, heidi-ho, neighborinos. Hope you're having a great afternoon despite the snow. Oilers will play at 8 o'clock in Seattle against the Kraken. We will have pregame coverage at 7 o'clock with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, and then the boys will jump on after the game as well to break it down, and then the Oilers back home Saturday at 8 to play against the Calgary Flames in the final BOA of this season, unless there's one in the playoffs, which is still possible until Calgary. How about this? Okay, how about this? By the way, give us the thumbs up on YouTube. We just need a few clicks to get to 130, and then we know there's a word of the day for sure, and then we can push to get to a second word of the day. How about this for a what if? I know I try not to be a huge what if guy, and I know sometimes with the audience I'm like, okay, let's just tone down the what ifs. We're getting too far off the rails. But I'll throw this out here as a what if. Okay. The St. Louis Blues passed the Minnesota Wild in the standings, which the way the Blues are playing is quite possible, even though Minnesota has a game in hand and a 2-point lead. So the Blues would be the best wild, and they finish as the best of the 2 wildcard teams, right? So they play the second best division winner, which is going to be Vegas, pretty much for sure, I would say.
Most likely,
and
yes.
Let's say the Blues beat Vegas, okay? So now the Blues are a Pacific Division team for the purpose of the playoffs. And let's say the Oilers beat the Kings. And then in the second round, it's Oilers Blues. Holloway Broberg coming back in the postseason.
Can you imagine?
I could imagine it. I think I want it to happen now.
Well, sure. Why not?
Well, I mean, for everybody's sake, I'd like the Oilers to win the first series and keep going. But
I mean, you've put that out in the universe now, so very well could.
But I really thought. I was saying for the last couple of weeks, and I think you sensed it, that I really thought Calgary was going to find a way to get in there. They still could. They play tonight against Dallas, but Calgary's they're kind of in those gotta-have-it stages of their games. You can't call it a must-win until they're about to be eliminated. The advantage for the Flames is the games in hand. They're 4 points behind St. Louis with 3 games in hand. St. Louis has a slight edge in points percentage, but Calgary's got to make everything count at this point, and the Blues have just been absolutely on fire. The Oilers 2 points behind the Kings, but the Kings have a game in hand there. Starting to look, well, we'll see. I mean, but the Kings have the advantage there for second place, which leads us very nicely into our game of the night, presented by Playmore Tables and Games. From ping pong and pool tables to darts and dome hockey, plus all the classic arcade action you could ask for. Visit Canada's Game Room experts, locations in Edmonton and Calgary, or online at playmoregames.ca.
Playmore Tables and Games.
So, would you want to go first? Because I'm going to have more than one again. And I'm not just going to do Oilers Kraken.
Well, no, I'm not doing any hockey. I mean, it's March Madness.
Wow.
It's Sweet 16, baby. You got a slate full tonight. 4 games. Starting with BYU and Brendan's Alabama. Maryland taking on Florida, Arizona, Duke. That's the one.
That's the one, okay.
That's the one out of the 4 I'm going to have to tune into. And then Arkansas versus Texas Tech.
Well, I'm going to go with the Maryland-Florida game.
Are you?
Well, partly just because the one game I watched the most of on the week this past weekend from the first 2 rounds, almost front to back, was Maryland-Colorado State, which was a great game.
Great game.
Close the entire time. Colorado State had the lead, the number 12 seed, so they'd already upset the number 5 and had the lead with, 3.5 seconds left, and then Maryland scored. And I talked about how, was that a travel on Monday?
It was.
According to the refs I talked to, it wasn't.
Well, because of what? The Euro step rule,
I feel like
right?
when we were kids, though, that's an obvious travel.
This is because of this Euro step that you start at 0, then 1, 2.
Right. Whereas we were like, no, you get 1. You get 1, Jablonski. There's no 0. Zero's not a step.
It was borderline because it was not a traditional Euro step, I guess, take to the basket. It was simply a take in which he took a third step.
Right. Because when I was a kid, okay, if I'm dribbling and my right foot is on the ground and I pick up the ball, I put down my left foot. That is now my pivot foot, and then I can take one more step with my right foot.
That's right.
Now, putting down my left foot would be the 0. Stepping with my right would be the 1, and then I would get another one. Right?
Yeah, it's confused, because it's not consistent.
Little Jay and Reid would be furious. Because in grade 2 intramurals, we're getting called for traveling, and then we come to the future and we see a guy score a game-winning shot, taking an additional step in what was traveling to us.
Terrible.
They would have been furious.
And
little Jay and little Reid are not happy right now.
Oh, and lo and behold, it's not consistently called by refs.
But the Gene Steratore, who's on the panel, what a career he had, eh? Coached, refed NFL and NCAA. And then I texted with a Canada West ref that I know, and he said, look, if you got to slow it down, it's not traveling by the rules. But by the rules, I feel like I was taught.
By the rules, you get 2 steps.
When James Naismith came to us and said, hey, guys, I got an idea for a game. That was traveling.
Do you have any peach baskets?
That's the thing. Here's what I should say to that. I should have said that to that
there
ref.
It is.
There it is. It's on TV right now. I should have said, hey, if James Naismith, the inventor of basketball, saw that, that's traveling.
Yep.
He'd say, you traveled and you have to climb the ladder to the peach basket and get the ball out.
Didn't they pop it out with the ball?
Yeah, and then eventually they just were like, let's saw the holes out. All right, so the game of the night for Playmore Tables and Games. I'll go with Maryland, Florida for my NCAA game. I think that's bottom of the hour for that one.
Yep.
Where do I go in hockey? There are tons. Well, I'll go Kings Avalanche. And I'll go Stars Flames. And I'll go Blues Predators. Can I have 4 games of the night?
Reid?
Who's going to stop? It's not like Playmore Tables and Games is going to be like, oh, we can't sponsor that anymore, Reid.
What's the name of the show?
You don't understand what's going on.
What's the name of the show? You can do whatever you like.
The Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne, with Jay Milne.
We
can't take it anymore.
We should get a Declan made and put it up here somewhere that takes away the Nielsen show.
With our map?
Yeah, with a map.
With the map? What are we going to have, a pull-down map of Canada?
I think Canada... I don't know. Maybe just a large Alberta.
Large Alberta map.
I think that would be wise.
It would be a stroke of wisdom, so to speak.
You know what, Reid? The conversation about food court food has taken some legs.
Well, because Hernan and Gager were talking about it a little bit as well, weren't they?
Was it food court food?
I thought they had best. Well, maybe they might have had best food court in the city. You were just talking more about what are the staples.
What is
of
a
food
staple?
court.
And this is
Right.
interesting. Dave in Section T says, "What are the mall food court places that are nowhere else?" Right? Like
they don't have brick and mortar stores.
Like he says Sbarro, Grandma Lee's, Orange Julius.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Thai Express. Like New York Fries doesn't have their own
Orange
operation.
Julius's that are not in food
Orange
courts.
Julius is part of a restaurant, isn't it? Isn't it part of Dairy Queen? Yeah. I think you can go to DQ and get an Orange Julius.
Right.
Whoa! Whoa!
That was David Lee Roth when he found out you can get Orange Julius at Dairy Queen.
Very exciting.
He was uncontrollable.
But New York Fries doesn't have its own.
Yeah, there won't be like a little store on White Ave of New York Fries, for example. Would there? There must be somewhere though that's not in a mall.
I don't think so.
That's a really good point. Sbarro's a good one though. Have you ever seen a Sbarro? Am I saying it right? Sbarro
yeah.
outside of a food court?
Not in Canada.
Yeah.
What about, does Edo Japan have their standalone stores?
Yes. I can confirm.
Yeah, there's one not far from my place. It's in a
Okay.
strip mall, but it's still not in a food court or in a mall.
Edo's like always been one of my go-tos.
Yeah. That is fascinating stuff. Well, let's see how. Oh, apparently Spency 5 Cents, he says Dairy Queen dropped the Orange Julius and it angered me. Oh my. Give us a thumbs up to make up for it.
What is Orange Julius anyways?
It's kind of like a smoothie, but not. But it's not a milkshake either. It's in between. It's an Orange Julius. Yeah, I believe it's what Julius Caesar drank.
Must be.
Brutus, can you fetch me one of those drinks I like? Oh, yes.
The orange.
Don't worry, it's not poisoned. Is this the Ides of March this week? No, I think they happened already. Smitty the Welder in the Nasty Chat. If anybody will check this for me, it'll be Smitty. Smitty, when is the Ides of March, and what was the exact date of Julius Caesar's assassination? Please post that in the Nasty Chat. And everybody keep giving us a thumbs up. We are at 130, so we need 24 more thumbs in 30 minutes, which we can do. We really rallied on the show earlier this week. So click away. Get us to double word of the day territory. I should mention, Brad Lauer's coming up at 5:30. After the 5:20 break, you know who I went and did a one-on-one interview with last night after the game? Cody Cece.
Lovely.
Yeah. From the Dallas. I'm serious, Smitty. I want you to look this stuff up. He put laughing faces. No, I don't need to look everything up all the time, Smitty. When is the Ides of March, and on what day was Julius Caesar actually killed? And did he invent a drink that became Orange Julius? I know you wanted to touch on this, Jay, in terms of how the Oilers have attacked the last two games without Connor and Leon.
Pleasantly surprised, I would say, is how I would describe that. I mean, last night at the end of the game, they didn't just roll over. Now, was Dallas letting the foot off the gas a bit? Probably.
Sure.
And they'll learn from that because the Oilers, man, they looked great in that, final 9 minutes of the third period?
Mm-hmm.
Made it interesting. I've been pretty impressed. I think some of the players that had question marks around them for quite a long time are now getting into a bit of a rhythm, which we suggested might happen when you don't have somebody to carry the weight of the team for you. You're forced to step up. I mean, certainly Nuge has. I think Arvidsson's been playing better. Skinner's doing better. Everybody's doing better that were question marks, no?
Well, and the old word simplify, get it in, go to work, take shots, try to crash the net. I know they can crash it better, but I mean, the shot quantity was there. I don't know if the quality was already there, and I think that's what you really miss with McDavid or Draisaitl is just those creative plays or making something out of nothing. And the power play has scored twice 2 games in a row. Now, they could have used a power play goal in the first period when they were dominating. I mean, coming out of that first period ahead or tied might have changed the complexion of a lot of things. But yeah, it's not as if I think the concern would have been, oh man, like not only will they not score without Leon or Connor, they're going to get like 17 shots and 60 to them will be grade C, right? I mean, they've pushed the pace, or they've no, I wouldn't. That's wrong. They haven't pushed the pace, but they've hemmed other teams in at times.
They outshot Dallas 44-24 last night.
Right.
I mean, Jake Ottinger stood on his head in the first period. 14-5 were the shots for the Oilers in the first period. I mean, that's pretty good. They out-hit Dallas 22-9.
Well, I didn't even look at the hits. I don't look at the hits.
Well, I know because it's subjective.
Yeah.
You can't. But, I mean, those are two stat lines. They beat him in faceoffs. They beat him in shots. 2 for 6 on the power play. Ottinger, if the Oilers can get one of those by, I think it's a different game.
Yeah. And as we talked about a lot, I mean, they needed a save in the second period on something. I'm not going to say which one or what. They needed something difficult or needed to be stopped. Smitty the Welder says Ides of March is March 15th. Sexy 5 cents. He says Pompey the Great actually invented Orange Julius, but Caesar stole his idea and his wife. River Cree Resort Casino inbox is 780-218-9999. That's how you can text us. River Cree Resort Casino featuring Italia Restaurant, home of the $6.99 brunch special from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. So March 15th, the day Julius Caesar died in 44 BC. Smitty the Welder, bonus points for you today. All right, we'll take a time out. My interview with Cody Ceci from after the game last night, and a former Oil Kings coach now with the Spokane Chiefs, Brad Lauer, coming up as well.
No Stuart Skinner for the Oilers. He did not travel to Seattle with Edmonton. He sits out with a head injury. And Calvin Pickard starts tonight. Olivier Rodrigue called up on an emergency basis to be his backup. Swing by Boston Pizza Westgate to join Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas as they go live for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 7 to tee up the action right here on EST. 4 games are live right now. Peyton Krebs and Tage Thompson giving Buffalo a 2-0 lead against Pittsburgh. Matvey Michkov finding his 21st of the season against the Canadiens, 1-0 Flyers. Victor Hedman and Jake Gensel making it 2-0 Tampa over Utah, while Thomas Chabot hits the score sheet for Ottawa. 1-0 Sens over Red Wings, having all of those games midway through the first. And the Jays fell 12-2 in opening day against the Orioles. They rematch them tomorrow evening. 3 games are live in the NBA. Mavericks and Magic tied 6-6 midway through the first quarter. It's 18-16 Pacers over Wizards, while the Spurs are up 11-8 over the Cavaliers. This sports update is brought to you by Clover Bar Feeds, and Clover Bar Feeds has all the animal feed you'll need. Get top-notch service and selection from their family-owned business. Visit Clover Bar Feeds at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park, or call them at 780-467-5014. The Reid Wilkins Show rolls on after a brief intermission. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
Let's see if we can skip the dishes, some hot dogs right now.
For the boys.
But for the 3 boys.
For the boys too.
Brendan's in for Trev today. I mean, who doesn't want a hot dog on opening day? The first one that pops up is 7-Eleven. I know. Brendan's not his head like, yes. I don't think 7-Eleven has their hot dogs on right now.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric, presented by Southport Chevrolet. Weekday mornings 6 to 9, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you? Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Missing the course? The Canadian Ice House is here to keep your skills sharp. Trackman golf simulators are open. Real golf action right in downtown Edmonton. Don't let the off-season slow you down. Visit us in-store or check out thecanadianicehouse.com for all the details.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
Some days
a one-of-a-kind retrospective. It's Glass Tiger, This Island Earth, April 4th at River Cree Resort and Casino.
Don't forget me when I'm gone.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
On the old ESTV, we have Brigham Young and Alabama. They must have a high shooting percentage. The game's not even 7 minutes old. It's 21-19 Alabama. Number 2 leading number 6 BYU. So Alabama's the team you told Brendan Eric, our practicum student, was really good.
I said, do you own your house? Or do you own a house? He said, no, I rent. I said, well, I would have told you to bet the house on it.
But did you yourself go with Alabama in your bracket?
I did not.
No.
Probably stupid of me.
He's like, roll Tide. Hey, Jay. And you're like, yeah, roll Tide.
Okay, roll Tide, but what's the mascot for Alabama?
It's an elephant.
Yeah.
Because there was some writer wrote in the 1920s that they looked like a herd of elephants, the way they blocked or ran the ball or something like that.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
And like the
and
Crimson
I think they're
Tide.
called the Crimson Tide because they had red jerseys that got muddy or something like that. I don't know. Okay. Oilers in Seattle tonight. Last night after the Dallas game, I decided to go over to the Stars dressing room and I grabbed defenseman Cody Ceci, the former Oiler, for a quick interview.
Well, that turned out to be quite an interesting game. You guys didn't have the puck a lot at the beginning of the game, and then you turned that into a 4-0 lead. How did you turn that around, first of all?
Yeah, we all talked about it. I mean, our first wasn't good enough. Our start wasn't great. Came out of there somehow up 1. Ottawa played great for us. Kind of addressed it and then turned it around in the second. And then just kind of got into penalty trouble at the end of the game. We've been taking a lot of minors lately, so it's just another thing we have to be aware of.
So do you guys talk about before the game, and you were teammates with them, that they didn't have McDavid and Draisaitl, or do you try not to think about that when you're prepping?
Yeah, we talked about it for sure. I mean sometimes with guys out like that, other guys step up and work harder, and the game's just as tough. So they're definitely a huge piece of that team. But I thought they worked hard tonight and outworked us for most of the game.
Well, you mentioned the penalty trouble helping them get back in it, but the lead narrowed. So how do you hold it together when the tension ratchets up like that?
Yeah, exactly. We just had to tighten up at the end and just get the 2 points. I mean, it was unfortunate the way the game ended, but we did hold on, and we play again tomorrow night. So, it's just it's a good start to the road trip with 2 points, but we definitely have to clean up a lot.
So a lot of guys have told me over the years, and maybe more when they look back on things, but they say, man, when I got traded, that was more disruptive than I even thought at the time. You've had it happen twice in less than a year. What's that been like for you?
Yeah, it's definitely tough on your family and yourself. Just moving around a lot is difficult, but they've been great through it all. We've been in two good spots, great spots to live. So they've just been embracing it, and they've stayed positive throughout the whole thing, but definitely disruptive.
You guys got ranting in a couple of days when Winnipeg and Colorado also made significant moves, and I guess you say Colorado's been doing it almost all year. But what's it like in the division you guys are in? And now St. Louis obviously is very, very loud.
Yeah, our division's pretty crazy. The whole western side is pretty nuts. So we're just gonna have to take it one round at a time and treat every round like it's the Cup final, because there's gonna be some top teams that we're gonna be playing against.
All right, and finally, what was it like? Just I know there was a game a couple of weeks ago as well, but what was it like being back? There were a lot of wins in this building for you as an Oiler.
Yeah, it's always special for me coming back here. Still a little weird, obviously. It's only 1 year removed, and even coming back doesn't really help. So I think it's just going to take some time to get the jitters out from being back in this building, but on the other side. But it is nice to come back to this city and see these guys that I went on some good runs with. So it's nice to see the guys again, but it's always awkward playing on the other side.
Cody Ceci from the Dallas Stars. Obviously, the Oilers traded him to San Jose for Ty Emberson in the summer. He got then traded, I guess about 5 or 6 weeks ago now, to Dallas, and he said that he thought the Oilers outworked them most of the game last night, but Dallas hung on for the victory. Reid Wilkins and Jason Milne with you. I am pleased to reconnect with this gentleman. First time on this show. He was on my old show a lot. It's Brad Lauer, head coach of the Spokane Chiefs. Brad, how are you doing?
Hey, Reid, how are you doing? I'm doing good.
It's nice to see you. Thanks for doing this. I've always loved chatting with you. I remember the first time I met you. You came in the summer. I think you were just moving to Edmonton and getting set up in your new house, and obviously you had a great run with the Oil Kings. So what's going on with this? Because we had Manny on last night. Full disclosure, about 24 hours ago, Manny was on. I said I got both you guys, but you guys, you're the higher. You guys are the better team, but you had to travel because of the basketball.
We did, yeah. So what happened with our schedule was the NCAA women's final 16 is in our building this weekend. So with our season ending last week, and obviously the playoffs started in the Western Hockey League this week, we had to play on the road starting with our first 2 games here in Vancouver. Then we switched back to Spokane for 3 games.
Okay, so you'll get 3, 4, if necessary 5, and if necessary 7 still at home. It's just you got to start on the road. Okay.
Yeah, we got to start on the road.
Look, you've coached. You've been in the NHL and you've coached Major Junior. I know the last couple of years, which you were with Winnipeg. What's it like going back to junior? Is it a mindset adjustment for you, or are you so seasoned at this point that it's a pretty quick transition?
Well, I think this one was a quick transition for me. Obviously, having the experience I did with the Oil Kings previous to that, and then really my 2 years in Winnipeg was good, but coming back to junior hockey for me, the transition this time was a lot easier. As the first time in Edmonton was my first time as being a head coach. So, coming back here was definitely a little bit easier of a transition, but a little bit change. Obviously, I had to make the move to Spokane. I kept my family in Edmonton during this time, but I made the move to Spokane.
Okay, so you still got a lot of roots here then?
I do, yeah. My daughters are going to school there. My wife's working there, so we didn't see fit to move. We didn't move to Winnipeg. We kind of commuted, being such a short trip for us. So we did the same thing here in Spokane.
Tell me a little bit about your team. Jay was looking at the stats earlier, and he gave me a quick scouting report, and I don't know if he made a prediction of who's going to win, but tell me a little bit about your club and the journey this season.
Yeah, you know what? It was an interesting one. Obviously, coming back to junior hockey and then, going right back to training camp in Spokane was interesting. It's a little bit different than what we did in Edmonton, but, we have a very young team here. We carried 6 16-year-olds this year, which is pretty rare for a major junior team to carry that many kids. But, there was such a talent pool here for so many young kids. I thought, this was the year that we could work with them, hopefully coach them up, hopefully make them better as the season went along. And, it's been a good year. It's been a great year for us. I mean, like I said, being one of the youngest teams in the league and having our guys be able to make the adjustments that we wanted them to do and to get them to play that we wanted them to do at such a young age, it was very rewarding so far. And in saying that, we also had some pretty key players too, with obviously Berkeley Cat and Andrew Crystal, and obviously Shea Van Holm, who I had in Edmonton as a 16-year-old. Those 3 guys had tremendous years offensively for us.
Brad Lauer joining us, Spokane Chiefs head coach. I'm speaking of that first conversation because you were fresh off the Lightning, right? And was that the year Washington knocked you guys out?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. And won the cup.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if this is awkward, but do you still follow the Jets and are like, yeah, they got a hell of a team and they're putting it all together?
No, I do. I mean, I think my time there obviously short, and obviously for me, I mean, I was hoping personally for myself to was hoping it could be longer, but the game is the game. I mean, it's a business. You got to perform. You got to do your job, and there's some great players over there. The city is like any other Canadian market. They're just crazy about their team. and the ownership there. What Mark's done there is tremendous as far as the players, how they treats the guys, and what they get to do, and where they stay on the road and what they eat. And I really thought hiring Scott was a great decision for them. He's a heck of a coach, and what he's done there this year has been tremendous.
Brad Lauer, Spokane Chiefs head coach, joining us here on the Reid Wilkins Show. Brad, as Reid said, I was looking at this matchup with Vancouver. Goals, and more goals would be what appears to be expected. Vancouver has 6 20-goal scorers. Your team has 5 20-goal scorers. Is this something, as a little bit inside your brain, or what your thought process is heading into this? Is this something where you just say, well, screw it, we're going to fight fire with fire and we'll let the bullets fly? Or do you take more of a, okay, we can buckle down on our defensive side and then the offense will lead and follow after that?
Yeah, that's kind of what we've talked about all year for us. I mean, our offense is created by good defense. We talked about our group. Everything that we want to do is it starts defensively, but when we say defensively, it doesn't necessarily start in the D zone. It starts in the offensive zone when you don't have the puck. And when you don't have it, you want to go get it. And hopefully, like I say, we work on a system that hopefully allows our guys to play well defensively, but also gives them the opportunity to create some offense. And I think as the season went along, I thought our guys did a much better job of understanding that. And we spent less time in the D zone. You have your moment, obviously in junior hockey, you have your moments, when it doesn't go great, but for the most part, defense still wins you the games, and that's one thing that we got to make sure we're prepared to do.
Yeah, well, I'll be keeping an eye on this series. I mean, for me, the 3 series I really want to pay attention to are Oil Kings PA for obvious reasons. Your series, because I know you and Manny, and then Steve Hamilton, who I've known since he was coaching in the AJHL. He's is Everett the top on your side?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they finished the top. We tried to catch them at the end of the year, but we just ran out of games, and they've had a heck of a year. Steve's done a good job over there in Everett, and which is great to see. It's the U.S. division was tough this year, but I don't think it was as tough as the Central Division was. All right,
yeah, a lot of Edmonton connections, so I want to follow those. I got to ask you about, because I look so fondly on your era coaching the Oil Kings, because I got to know you, and you were always great with talking to me, win or lose. Neighbors will probably be a radio show host someday. And he got a nice contract, and Gunther got an incredible contract. I know there were a couple other guys, but you must look at with a lot of pride at what those Oil Kings you coached are doing now.
Yeah, you know what? I always still keep in touch with a lot of guys, and even a lot of guys going back to my first year. Vince Lascialvo sent me a text about 3:00 in the morning when they won the championship at the University of Saskatchewan. There, so he sent me a little text that he won the championship. So it's kind of neat as a coach, being able to work with these kids at such a young age, but then still being able to stay in touch with them as their career develops, whether they go pro. Whether they get those big contracts that you talk about, or just the kids that just gone on to university, continue their education, and gone on to win the championships there. But it's still kind of neat to follow everybody that I've been able to coach and work with, and to see how they're doing at the next stage of their life.
Okay, so is it tomorrow, Saturday, the first 2 games in Van, and then you're coming back?
It's Friday, Sunday.
Friday, Sunday
Wednesday,
for
Thursday.
those ones.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
and then you get the bus home. Brad, great to catch up with you. Let's stay in touch, because it's been too long since we talked. But I love following your career, and I know you love coaching, and you've done such a great job. So thanks for hopping on. All the best here with you and Manny going head to head. I won't play any favorites, but I hope it's a great series.
Awesome. No, I appreciate it. No, Manny's a good man. He does a good job here in Vancouver. So we'll have our hands full.
Right on. Okay, we'll see you soon, Brad.
All right, guys. Take care.
Brad Lauer checking in, head coach of the Spokane Chiefs. So, yeah, I mean, I wanted to, because Manny was on yesterday, but I mean, we want to do those stories as well, because because a lot of times people will say, well, where's this coach now? Well, we got 2 guys who were coaching here in Edmonton, and plus Manny grew up in St. Albert, right? So, head to head, as you said, Jay, Is there going to be an 8-6 game in that series? Is that your call?
Very
They're
well
going to
could
try
be.
to. He said we got to play defense, but sometimes in junior they open up, the emotions get going. You never know. There could be a high-scoring game or two in that series. That'll be a fun one to follow. 780-218-9999 is how you text us, the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the Tap 25 restaurant, entire menu 50% off, 7 days a week. That is from 2 to 5 p.m. You can jump into the nasty chat with us and with each other. Let's make a big push here. We basically need 10 thumbs to get a double word of the day, right?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's just everybody get in there and click. Tell 2 friends to check out the show and give us a click.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
I still can't believe I did. Well, actually, I can believe that.
Oh, it's gold. Nick's son in the nasty chat. Hey, Reid, your prediction for the Stars game was spot on.
Was it?
What do you foresee for today's match?
Nick's son, not to be argumentative, I do not remember making a prediction for last night's game. Did I? Well, you weren't here. Did I, Coop?
I don't remember you making a prediction, so I'm going to say no. Usually you don't.
We had talked about it last week that last night's game would be a letdown possibly. But if you come out of this 3-game little series here.
I thought I said earlier in the week that I was more worried about the Kraken game than the Dallas game because I thought the Oilers would be up to play Dallas and would have a couple of days rest. And certainly in the first, like sometimes a team has days off and then they come out in the first period and they were like, why do they look tired?
Right.
The Oilers did not look tired last night. No, I mean, for most of the game, they didn't look tired. I'm a little more worried about this one because of the travel and because I do think Seattle's embracing the spoiler role a little bit. And again, I hate to be this sort of surface level. I know this isn't in-depth analysis, but there is the law of averages. They have beat them 9 in a row.
Yeah.
Seattle will beat the Oilers eventually. I hate to say this, I would lean towards a Kraken victory tonight just because of those circumstances.
Fair enough.
And they have talent on that team. It's just they traded some players, right? And I do think this is the thing. If the Oilers play well early, and I'll say this to Nick's on the positive side of this for the Oilers, sometimes the team on the second half of the back-to-back plays well early in the game. If the Oilers have a good start and get maybe a 2-goal lead, how interested is Seattle in trying to fight back, knowing they're not going to the playoffs? Now, having said that, they kept fighting on Saturday, even though the Oilers had the lead. So I don't know. I seriously don't remember predicting a Stars victory or the score last night. So if I did, Nixon, thanks for giving me credit for it. Jay's speechless that I might have got a prediction correct.
I know you're not a prediction guy, so it was surprising.
Kelvin says if the second period Oilers show up, they lose. Well, yes, that portion of the second period were not good. I was reminded when Dallas went up 4-0 of the game last April 3rd when the Oilers went into Dallas and lost 5-0, and I think Dallas got like 4 goals in 6 minutes in the second period.
You've spoken about this game because you've said
yes.
that this was a turning point for you where you said, oh boy, they just got smacked, punched in the face by a team that they're supposed to beat in the playoffs. But
then it didn't matter once.
So
that's why I'm always like I'm always, well, we know what it's like. Some people think I'm too positive and some people think I'm too negative. So I'm probably not going to change. But that's why I try not to overreact to regular season result. Now, having said that, there are some concerning things about this Oilers team. Certainly in net. Certainly with just some beefiness. And then do they have enough scoring punch? No, lately they have, even without the 2 big guys. But playing another good team in a 7-game series in the playoffs, even with McDavid and Draisaitl, could they survive that? But we'll worry more about the playoffs yesterday. So D-Rock says it was Tom that predicted 4-3 Dallas. Yeah, that makes sense. It was not me. I didn't think I had one yesterday. All right, we need 10 thumbs for a double word of the day. So let's get in those last-minute clicks. We got the Coob with the sports update.
Calvin Pickard gets a start for the Oilers against the Kraken. Olivier Rodrigue serves as the Oilers' backup as Stuart Skinner did not travel from Edmonton to Seattle due to a head injury he sustained in the third period of last night's game. Join Tom Gazzola live at Boston Pizza Westgate as him and Hernan Salas tee up the game during the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 7 right here on EST. And 8 games on tap. Right now it's Philly leading 3-1 over Montreal. Pittsburgh down 2-1 against Buffalo. The Lightning holding the Hockey Club 2-0. And the Red Wings down 2-0 to the Sens with all 4 of those games nearing the end of 20. Caps and Wild just about to get underway. NBA action sees 3 games live. Spurs down 39-30 to the Cavs, and the Mavs down 25-20 on the Magic, while Indiana holds Washington 48-33, having all of those games early in the second. And for March Madness, 6th seed BYU is within 5 points of 2nd seed Alabama 35-30. And Florida and Maryland just hitting the court. Earlier, Toronto fell 12-2 to Baltimore. The Orioles and Jays go at it again tomorrow. The final segment of the Reid Wilkins Show brings us back on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching the button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Okay, so Nick's son clarifying, and I did say this, that in one of the upcoming 3 games, the Oilers could play well and struggle offensively without McDavid or Draisaitl, which would have been the story for about 50 minutes, that they had the puck and had chance. But then they did get to 3, and the power play did score twice. So that's what he was referring to. Chris says, missed the game last night. Did the Oilers play good? First of all, grammatically, did the Oilers play well? Is what you should be doing there. For the most part, they did, actually.
Yeah,
for the most part, they did. But not well enough. They still made some mistakes, didn't get some saves, didn't finish on some early chances. So, Chris, watch the game tonight. They got a quick chance to bounce back. Koob, what's going on with Sidney Crosby?
So he just did something absolutely amazing, and he's kind of been building up to this his entire career. As we know, Wayne Gretzky holds a lot of records in the NHL, and Sidney Crosby just broke one of them. He's the king of consistency. He broke the record recording his 20th point per game season in his NHL career.
So he got his 82nd point tonight then. Or I guess, I don't know if he's missed any games. I can't remember. So he's guaranteed to have a point per game season. If he doesn't get a point the rest of the way, that's That actually is pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, that's not pretty good.
It's decent.
That's really good.
Exceptional. We are in the Canadian Brewhouse studio. Make your birthday legendary at the Canadian Brewhouse. I gotta love Chris. He types in, "will do." I knew you were going to watch the game, Chris. Make your birthday party legendary at the Canadian Brewhouse. Epic food, killer drinks, and a vibe you can't beat. Plus, get free nachos. Get free nachos with our app. Book your party now. The Canadian Brewhouse, our house, is your house. Nachos. Hey, who wants some nachos?
Yeah, nachos. Reid, interesting thing happened. I had an email sent to me from a listener, Lingus99.
Oh, yeah.
He sent me this, and I asked him if I could use it. He was he's a paramedic. So Edmonton Police Service gave them an award of distinction, or his crew. I'm not exactly sure, but there was a ceremony at EPS headquarters, and Lingus99 felt it was best suited to wear his Glute Crew apparel to this meeting. So Coob's got a picture here of him receiving the award, the prestigious award, in his Glute Crew hoodie.
That's awesome.
I think that's fantastic. Way to go. Damien is his name. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the Glute Crew membership. You look outstanding. Well done.
That's cool. Yeah, appreciate that. Great community. JMO noted that. Just the community for 1260 and now EST is pretty cool. We need 4 thumbs up. So we're going to assume we're going to do a double word of the day. And then usually we get some thumbs just as the show ends.
I think it's fair to assume.
I think we can do a double word of the day, especially since it's your first day back.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Make my day.
I will.
The word of the day.
Okay, Harry, here's the word.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
What do they got to say?
He was going to shoot the guy unless he gave him a word of the day.
Again, I dare you.
Let's find out.
We should
speak it?
remake Dirty Harry, but he's an English teacher. Did you do good or did you do well? I don't know. I just peed myself.
I heard it's pizza day today at the cafeteria. Okay.
Go ahead. Make my day.
The first word of the day.
Did you just say irregardless?
The first word of the day.
Oh, here we go. I got to do it.
Is flippant. Flippant.
That's the word of the day?
That's the first word of the day. Use your ears.
Well, I know the definition. How do you spell it? F-L-I-P-P-A-N-T.
What'd you say?
F-L-I-P-P-A-N-T. Is this one P? Oh, I got it. Okay. And flippant is sort of sarcastic and dismissive. You know, like Reid was so disinterested in the symposium on beetle dung, he spent the whole time making flippant remarks about beetles. I have to say something, Jay. That might be the easiest word you've given me.
Something described as flippant, such as behavior or a comment, is lacking in proper respect or seriousness.
So I didn't maybe touch on but I said sarcastic or dismissive,
That's
which
right.
I guess would be disrespectful.
Fantastic.
Are we doing, what are we at? We're at 151 thumbs. Or we're going to just round up to 100. Because we always get some after the fact or people click. But click. Let's see if we can get to 155
click,
in the next minute before we sign off.
You must.
So I love how you can reproduce that song. You know the lyrics better than I do. And I wrote it. So
Second word of the day. Surcease. Surcease. Maybe surcease.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Sure, I don't have to answer.
I can lose a quarter point. Does it start with an X?
It's not Xerxes.
Okay. Circes?
Circes.
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 Well, I know what... Do I go with just what first came to mind, or you're sort of pronouncing it a certain way? No, I'm going to go with what first came to mind. C-E-R-S-E-S. No? Tuba. Is it C-E-R-S-E-A-S? No? Does it start with a C? Okay. that I don't know how to spell it.
I can't take it anymore.
No, I don't know.
This is a verb. S-U-R-C-E-A-S-E. S-U-R-C-E-A-S-E.
Oh, so the word cease as in to stop. So I'm going to say this is something that supersedes an order to stop. All right. I took a guess at it. I had a streak of 3 in a row doing pretty well. What can you do?
Now, the pronunciation of this was what threw me off. Because when I look at this word, I would say surcease.
Yes, that's what I would think too.
But it's very clearly surcease. It's to come to an end.
Oh, it's just to cease,
like
to
that song.
stop something. It's okay. Yeah. I like how that song.
Yeah.
Boy, Abuski didn't like that we were talking over the Samuel Jackson. He doesn't care. He's going to the food court at West End.
Yeah, he's going to get Chinese.
Surcease
to come to an
looks
end.
like surcease, and it actually means to cease.
Stop
Just
ceasing.
cease, basically. Okay. Well, I didn't do as well as yesterday, but still fun. Okay, so we're going to end this show. The stream resumes with more live programming at 7 o'clock. Tom Gazzola, Hernan Salas, GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show, leading you into the Oilers and the Tentacles at 8, and then they're on after the game to break it down as Derek Ryan assigned to Bakersfield. Olivier Rodrigue called up as Skinner not with the team after getting shaken up last night. Not sure his condition. Maybe we'll get an update from Knobloch when he speaks before the game. Big thanks to Zachary Kubish, our sports update deliverer and technical producer. On behalf of Jason Milne, I'm Reid Wilkins. Take care.